replace Maddox McMillan, record-setting quarterback, and the wide receiver as well. And that's just going to be a lot of numbers, but they'll do it by running back by committee and, sprinkle a few passes in here and there.
You can't see on your screen, but across the way, the crowd continuing to come in. There's a row that goes behind the visiting bleachers, which what you're seeing on your screen is the Beckley side, as I mentioned, the visitors, and up behind it, and there's still a lot of traffic as people are making their way into the stadium. We'll go ahead and take a break, come back, and as our Beckley Auto Mall pregame show rolls on, as you're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia High School athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
What's more important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps color options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation, in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us, New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us, New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
And we welcome you back to Riverside High School here in Quincy, West Virginia at the Beckley Auto Mall pregame show. During that commercial break, the referee, Eric, stuck his head here in our booth and said that we are under a 30-minute delay, a weather delay. And, of course, that was a couple of things that you and I talked about in our last segment about how hot it was when we got here to now how it's cooled off. Now, I haven't seen any lightning. As I look to my left, it's very cloudy and overcast and a little bit of blue skies to the right. But normally when you have a weather delay, it's because of lightning, and obviously the officials must have seen lightning for them to have a 30-minute weather delay.
Yeah, and, it's one thing that neither team wants. Your team's already jacked up, and you have that, that emotional lift, and you have to go back into the dressing rooms and sit and then come back and re-warm up. That's not a good situation.
Well, for us, just like you and I were really jacked, even though we did the game last night, and our crew, the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, sitting here to the right of me as he's producing and directing, and Chris Ferris, our stat guy, we're jacked up and ready to get this kicked off at 7:30, and now we find out it's going to be delayed. It'll be about 10 till 8 before the game kicks off. But if you remember, Eric, a year ago, when we did our first game, it was Independence and Liberty. The very first game you and I did for Video Productions was also about a 35-minute weather delay, if you recall. Yes, that.
It was.
A year ago tonight.
Yeah, a year ago tonight. So maybe it's something with us. We bring the electricity to the stadium, and it's just creating lightning.
That's what it is, I guess, the lightning that we generate. But I did not see any other than us here in the booth. I didn't see it in the sky.
Yeah, I never saw anything. But, hey, we're not the ones that matter. The referees, they call that, and and it's just real tough for the teams. You know how it is when you're ready, to go and ready to go, and you have to reset your mindset. So I guess the coaches will go over some final thoughts on the game and just try to keep the teams loose.
And Eric, there's every team at one point, no matter how successful you are or have been, whether you're talking NFL, college, the high school level, every team goes through some kind of adversity. And it's really how you deal with that adversity as to maybe how successful you will be getting through that adversity. And this is just another thing, as you mentioned, and totally agree. You know, I played 100 years ago. You played 50 years ago. So it's like, yeah, you're all jacked up. You warmed up. You've got that sweat going. You go back in the locker room. You're ready to come out and play. And then they tell you, oh, you got to chill out for another 30 minutes and you got to come up and warm up again before you play. So it's really how each player and each coaching staff, how they really deal with that. And maybe that could be that could be something really big of who gets off to a quick start in this game.
Yeah, and you're right. You just have to reevaluate what you do because you know how coaches are. All teams, things are scripted. We're going to do this at this time, this at this time. So it throws, kind of a curveball, a monkey wrench into your game plan. It's just, now you have to go to that plan C and D. You already had A and B. Now you have to go to C and D. And as you stated, whichever team can handle this, the best will probably come out victorious tonight.
And, Eric, all the years that I have broadcast games, and, of course, I've done it all from softball, baseball, football, basketball, as you have, and watch games, baseball players and softball players, I think, are mentally more prepared for this because obviously it happens more often. But most of the time, football, this just doesn't happen. But it doesn't seem to me more so in the last 3 or 4 years, we've had more delays in games that I have done than in my, 27, 28 years combined prior to the last 4 years.
I would totally agree with that. And if you think about when we went around the area, I've never really saw a practice called,
because of lightning, right?
Never, yeah. I mean, I understand metal bleachers and all of that, but
well, safety is always first, and as you talk about metal bleachers right below us, the crowd hasn't gone anywhere. Even across the way on the visiting side, the biggest part of the Beckley crowd are still in the metal bleachers, and right below us, the Riverside crowd. And like I said, I didn't see any lightning, and obviously I guess the official did, and that's why we're on this 30-minute delay. But, Eric, I guess if we waited that long, I guess we can wait a little longer.
Hey, like I said, the game's still going to go on. As long as it's not canceled, we're going to be ready to go.
Yep, so I guess that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back and figure out what we're going to do as we move forward. As you are watching the Beckley Auto Mall pregame show, as we are streaming live here with the Raleigh County High School Football Game of the Week on Video Productions.
Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia High School athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
Unlock the money already in your home at City National Bank. Consolidate loans or fund your next big project with a home equity line of credit with a great low intro rate. Visit your local branch to get started. City National Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Learn more at homeequity.bankatcity.com.
Motley's Plumbing and Heating of Beckley, West Virginia is now hiring journeyman or master plumbers. You must have a West Virginia plumbing license and a valid driver's license. All interested parties may apply at Motley's Plumbing and Heating at 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia. Or interested applicants can call 304-253-HELP. Once again, you may apply in person at Motley's Plumbing and Heating, 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia. Motley's Plumbing and Heating is an equal opportunity employer.
And we welcome you back to Riverside High School here in Quincy, West Virginia with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry. And if you're just joining us, there is a weather delay as this game's scheduled to kick at 7:30, and there is 21 minutes on the scoreboard, Eric. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that 21 minutes now under 21 minutes. We're going to let that count down to 5 minutes. So we're going to rejoin you in 15 minutes. The game right now looks like it's going to kick, Eric, if my calculations is correct, and you might have to help me, like at 7:50. So we'll come back at 7:45 and get you ready for a 7:50 kick between Beckley and Riverside. So we will rejoin you at 7:45. So until then, for Eric Thomas, I'm Maris Lowry. We'll see you at 7:45. And we welcome you back in to Riverside High School here in Quincy, West Virginia. I'm Eris Lowry with Eric Thomas. And Eric, we've had a weather delay, and we hope that we're going to get the game underway hopefully here within the next 5 minutes, as I see the officials to our left that are gathering. And, of course, as we mentioned before we took this delay, if you were with us here on Video Productions, that a year ago when Eric did our first game down at Glen Daniel between Independence and Liberty, we had a 35-minute weather delay. So here we are a year later, here only different teams, different situation. Well, I guess same situation, just different teams in a different stadium.
Yeah, and the weather early on, and you stated early in the first pregame that the weather's been so unpredictable this summer. You know, it could be straight blue skies 1 minute, and then 10 minutes later, full-out hurricane, tornado style weather, and hopefully right now, as I looked at my radar, I'm no weatherman. If we don't have any lightning, I think they'll be able to get underway.
Well, you know, like I said, when you and I got here, you and I and our stat man Chris Ferris rolled up in here right about 5:30. It was extremely hot. It was like 88 degrees, and it's a different hot and 88 degrees down here in the Kanawha Valley, and it was just crazy. And then as the teams were going through the warm-ups, the weather started to change. Actually got a little breeze, and you know, I didn't see the lightning. It's not rain, but actually, as we talked about before, we would prefer it, and I'm sure the players would prefer it to be a little cool. And if it does rain, as long as it's not a downpour, the field won't be affected because of turf.
Yeah, and that's what's good about, you know, I guess 5-6 years ago, you and I had a chance to do a game here, and it still was the natural grass surface, and you didn't want rain at all because it would just turn into a mud puddle right in the middle, and that's the beauty of this field turf now, where you can play multiple sports on this and not harm the surface. So
we're going to give you the keys to the first half, and the keys to the first half are brought to you by Indoor Air. Indoor Air is a proud sponsor of Raleigh County sports. For all your heating and cooling needs, call Indoor Air at 304-890-2212. So, Eric, after the long delay, what is your keys to the game, first of all, for the visiting team, Beckley Flying Eagles?
For the Flying Eagles, it's the battle of the turnovers early. You don't want to put the ball on the turf and give the home crowd, the home team, any kind of early momentum. So a ball security early for Beckley.
Now for Riverside?
You want to come out fast. You want to get the ball into your best players' hands, and you want to hopefully have your defense and with Braden Ward really cause some chaos for the Beckley Flying Eagle offense.
And, Eric, I will piggyback one other thing in case of the game, and I think you'll agree with this. I think the team that handles the delay the best and gets off to a best start, definitely, maybe not an advantage for the whole game, but definitely in the first half.
Yeah, early on, and that momentum is real. Momentum is real, and I think whoever can handle this, you know, this first this weather delay can come out and, you know, get going.
Well, Beckley is making their way out onto the field. The Flying Eagles, of course, wearing the white uniform there, trimmed in maroon. We call them the maroon wave of the Beckley Flying Eagles, getting ready to take on the purple haze of the Riverside Warriors, and Riverside ready to make their entrance here momentarily. And we're about a minute and a half away of getting this game underway and having football on the first full Friday night of high school football in the great state of West Virginia. There were about, 8 or 10 games played last night. And, Eric, before this game gets started, real quickly, other than the game we had, 60-0 Independence beat Liberty, was there anything that really jumped out at you of the games played last night?
Yeah, a couple of key scores, and as far as AAA, you know, we all knew GW was going to be a good team, but to surprise Cabell Midland, you know, a top 3 team early on, really stood out to me. In South Charleston losing big to Morgantown.
And speaking of those games, Morgantown beat South Charleston 50-0, and George Washington beat Cabell Midland 28-21. Another game that stood out to me, and one of the teams that we carry on our Raleigh County schedule, the Shady Tigers, they were upset down at Tug Valley. They lost to Single A Tug Valley 32-21.
Yeah, no disrespect to Tug Valley, but I actually thought, you know, Shady, a AA school, would go down and secure that victory, and look for Coach Colasorto, Vince, to have those guys bounce back.
So both teams have made their way out to their respective sidelines. Riverside right below us, all in purple. And, of course, the Flying Eagles across the way, and kind of getting loose after that 30-minute weather delay. and they've got to get out on the field and they've got to get loose a little bit, and we're moments away from having the toss of the coin and getting this game underway, Beckley and Riverside. And, you know, Eric, we talked about it in our many other pregame segments because it's been an extra long one because of the weather delay. Feel that you never want to think that everything is down to one game, especially the first game of the season. But I think for both teams, this first game is so big for each team.
I think it's a program-changing game for both teams. And what I mean by that, I mean, by no means, there's a lot of season left. But both of these teams desperately need to get off to a good start.
And, you know, and on paper, I think they're evenly matched. I don't know if the home field advantage is going to be that much of a factor. Of course, we have the cowbell, if you probably could hear it right there in front of you, Eric, in the window right there below us. And, of course, the crowd, got a good crowd here on the home side of Riverside. A nice crowd made it down from Beckley. And the teams, like I said, they're going to get a few more minutes of warm-up before we actually get the game started. So it looks like it's going to be about another 5 minutes, but we've waited this long. I don't think 5 more minutes is going to matter.
Yeah, and the kids desperately need to get those legs loose. You don't want anyone to, pull a hamstring early on in the season and be out. So come back, get loosened up, and let's get this thing teed up and kicked off.
And for Beckley, because they're playing on the road, and then they also go on the road next week to their arch rival Greenbrier East, I don't know that it makes the game any more important because you got to figure if you're Riverside, you're playing at home, you got to believe for Riverside with only 3 wins a year ago, and they feel Riverside does that if they can get to 5 wins, that would get them in the postseason. They got to believe that this is one of the 5 they can get playing this game at home.
Yeah, you definitely have this winnable game circled. And, you have a couple that you are toss up, and we referred to this last night. And the one thing that Beckley kind of got away from is that tough, the MSAC, and Riverside's still stuck in that, so they're going to be playing the likes of Huntington, GW,
Cabell Midland, Spring Valley, Capital a little down.
Capital down,
yeah.
but still, and Hurricane.
Very good.
So, there's this is not a layup, a gimme game, so they're still out of conference playing what is still, a good program in Beckley.
The one thing for the Flying Eagles that'll be a little different this year for the people that are watching here on Video Productions that follow the program and saw them a year ago. Of course, they were more of a pass-oriented team, but due to graduation with their outstanding quarterback, record-setting Maddox McMillan, and wide receiver Keenan Cook, since the Flying Eagles lost both of those quality players due to graduation, they've really changed their style, and they've become more of a running team as Jay Jones, the Beckley quarterback, will get his first start tonight.
Yeah, and look for Jay Jones. He just has to be a game manager and, complete a few passes when he needs to. But the game's going to be one up front. But I want to turn to special teams because we would be remiss not to talk about, the kicker for Beckley, Connor Mollahan, yeah. We had a chance to watch him in warm-ups, and, he really booms the ball, and that could be a game changer, flipping the field, and as far as getting field goal range. So you can run your offense knowing that you have a chance to tack on 3.
And you're so right, Eric. Field goals and extra points could play, obviously, a very big role. Would you and I think it's going to be a close game, and it could come down to a play here or there who's going to end up winning this game.
Yeah, and that's right. And special teams, you're only as good as your special teams, and especially on the AAA level. Certain levels, double A, single A, certain matchups you can get away with going for 2. But sometimes, that 2-point, that's really hard to get. Those 3 yards, so we'll see how that shapes up.
And also, too, when you look at the Beckley team, they have a lot of good running backs, a stable of running backs. They may not have to just, hang their hat on one particular running back. They've got Moore, Grayton, Kimball, Mitchell. They've got a lot of guys that they can run in there. And like I said, their backfield, I think, will be a running back by committee for the Flying Eagles.
Yeah, and the one thing on the flip side, Riverside has Michael Terrell back who torched the Beckley defense last year, so they're going to have to contain him and really try to keep that running game contained as far as the Beckley defense against Riverside.
And, of course, too, one of the main guys, Braden Ward, and we're going to have, I think, a moment of silence here maybe because Ralph Hensley, who was a coach here in this area, he passed away. I knew Ralph Hensley, knew him, and he was an excellent coach. He coached East Bank. There'll be a moment of silence, and we'll take it with him.
Family, and hard work. The Eastern Kanawha Valley thank Coach Hensley and his family for years of service to our community. Please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you.
And, of course, Ralph Hensley, East Bank, then on into DuPont. And, of course, if you don't know, Riverside, the consolidation of East Bank and DuPont, and was also where Randy Moss went to DuPont, that feeds into Riverside.
Yeah, and East Bank had some fantastic teams, in the 80s and the early, the late 80s, and they were really, really dominant team.
And actually, 50 years ago, East Bank won the 1972 state championship, and they were AAA back then. And I know you were just barely being born, but I was 10 years old. Eric is 50, I'm 60, so I do have 10 years. I do remember that. And East Bank had some good teams. Well, the captains are out at the center of the field, and we're waiting on the toss of the coin.
Jake Walker. Number 42, Justin Rucker.
So
Number 14, Adam Wilkinson.
there are 4 captains for each team, 4 for Beckley, 4 for Riverside, and we're moments away from getting the game started. But one thing we've noticed as we got the lineup, Braden Ward, and we talked about him in some of our earlier segments about what a Division I athlete he is. He's 6'6", he's 220. He's going to play, we know about him on defense, but understand he's going to play wide receiver. And he really hasn't played a lot of offense in his career at Riverside, but he is scheduled to start. And you would think a talent, he may never come off the field. You think he would be on offense, defense, special teams.
Yeah, the one thing you can say about Braden, I know him personally, and he doesn't speak a lot. He is just a very humble kid, but you get him out between the lines, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I'm anxious to see how he plays. He's a matchup problem on offense.
Well, as a matter of fact, of course, when you and I walked the field, he waved at us. And before tonight, the last time I saw him was at your house back in May. And believe me, he's every bit of 6'6". So there's the coin toss, and let's see who ended up winning. I didn't catch that. So I didn't see who won the toss, but we'll know here momentarily, and we're just moments away from getting this game started. If you're just joining us, we have a weather delay. That's why we're getting started late. And we're finally going to get underway here in about 30 seconds or so. Beckley and Riverside. So we got a nice breeze. And like I said, Eric, I think for the players, they'd rather play on a nice, cool, breezy night like this as opposed to how hot it was when we first got here to the stadium.
Hey, we'll refer back to old Paul Davis, that 70s hit, a cool night.
Yes, there you go. So it looks like Beckley is going to receive. Riverside will tee it up on the 40. Beckley will work right to left.
And this is right here is the most nerve-wracking part being on the road. You just want to secure this ball, not have anything early, any kind of early turnover.
So let's see who's back for Beckley.
It looks like Elijah Waller is back deep for Beckley, and Tylee Kimball.
So Kimball and Waller back as Riverside tees it up, and we are ready to get this game started between Beckley and Riverside.
Hey, don't be surprised if you're here on the road. They may try something, early, onside kick, something like that. So everyone just has to be prepared.
So we are underway, and here comes the opening kickoff. It's right down the middle, and it's going to be returnable. Across the 15, get to the outside. There's a wedge, just a big kick return. Across the 40.
He may be gone. 50,
down the far sideline. This is going to be a touchdown. I don't see any laundry. A touchdown for the Flying Eagles.
Wow.
That is we're going to call it an 88-yard kickoff return. And it is Tylee Kimball, the 6-foot, 171-pound senior. What a way to, now we do. Nope, that's the tee, not a flag. I had that same mistake last night. But what a explosion down the far side by Tylee Kimball, 88 yards on the opening kickoff.
And you know what he did? I actually thought on this kick, I thought he misplayed the ball. He did a heck of a job catching it and turning the corner. And once he got the edge, nothing but speed down the sideline.
Yeah, he got a big block that sprung him free. And once he got to the far sideline in front of the Beckley bench, all the way to the house. So we had electricity on the opening kickoff. 88 yards it'll go down as the opening kickoff, and Beckley takes a 6-0 lead. Mollahan will try to tack on the point after the kick is up and good. And just like that, with 11:46 remaining here in the opening quarter, Beckley is struck with the 88-yard kickoff. The Flying Eagles lead 7-0 as you are watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football on Video Productions.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
Massey Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
And welcome back to Riverside High School. And just like that, if you blinked, you missed it. Tylee Kimball, an 88-yard touchdown on the opening kick of the game. And Mollahan tacks on the PAT. And Beckley, Eric, 11:46 for the opening quarter, has started the way you want to start any game, especially the opening game and on the road lead 7-0.
Well, I think Coach Surratt, you know what he drew up in the locker room? He said there's a little lightning outside, and we want to hit them with some lightning on this opening kickoff. And that's the way you want to get it started on the road. So right now, Beckley has the early edge, but now they're going to kick off to some deadly deep backs for Riverside.
And here comes the ensuing kickoff, and it's a good kick. This will be fielded right there about the 10-yard line. Riverside with a nice return of their own to get to the outside, but good coverage. Looked like that kick was going to go much further than what it did, and Riverside will set up shop on their 25-yard line.
And it looks like the young man who ran the kickoff back, Tylee Kimball, who is actually who made the tackle.
And we got a penalty marker thrown. And we'll hold the phone here to see what the penalty is going to be. But the opening drive of the ball game is brought to you by Beckley Auto Mall. Beckley Auto Mall GMC, we are professional grade. So waiting for the officials to discuss what the flag is. And it's going to be a personal foul, dead ball against Riverside, and that'll back them up.
Personal foul against the Warriors.
So right now, we've got an update on another game that we have on video production, and it is Graham leading Bluefield 7-0 down at Mitchell Stadium, and the ball will go back, and let's see, it's going to be at the 12-yard line. So there's where Riverside will set up shop. 1st and 10 on their own 12-yard line. Jake Walker, the quarterback, and he lines up over center. And it's going to be a running play, and they dive straight ahead. And that'll be Green, Bryce Green, a 5'11", 170-pound junior on the carry. And he'll get it over the 15 out to the 16-yard line.
Yeah,
second down.
Good positive yards there. And if you're Riverside, you're looking just to string a couple of first downs together here to at least flip the field on this drive.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 coming up for Riverside. Beckley struck big with the opening kickoff, 88 return by Tylee Kimball to lead in the game 7-0. Walker, the quarterback of Riverside, out of the shotgun. They fumbled the ball. Ball still loose. Riverside very fortunate to get that back, and that'll go for no gain and bring up 3rd down.
And this is the down and distance right here if you're the Flying Eagles, where you just want to get don't let anything get past the sticks. Keep everything in front of you and try to get some pressure on the quarterback if it's a pass.
And I think it'll be important for Riverside maybe to shake off that opening kickoff explosion for Beckley, as after giving up the opening kickoff for 6, you definitely don't want to go 3 and out. So let's see what the Warriors will come up with on their own 16-yard line.
It's a lot of football to be played if you're Riverside.
Walker waits on the snap. It's a running play, and he's not going to get there. Beckley's defense holds. He had to get out over the 20 to the 22, and he won't quite get to the 20, and it'll bring up 4th down, and Riverside will have to punt it away.
And if you're Beckley here, you just want to be sound in your special teams here. No roughing of the kicker, no jumping off sides, and field this cleanly. If not, just get away from the football.
They'll get the ball out to the 20-yard line. It looks like Riverside's going to go. They need 2 yards. This is a big gamble early in this game. 4th and 2 on their own 20-yard line. So this is a big gamble for Riverside to go for it now, and maybe just trying to get Beckley to jump. It looks like that Walker's going to back into the punter, and he is, and he gets a kickoff on a punt. Beckley goes back to field it. At midfield, there's a flag down. I think Riverside interfered, and here comes another flag in. They may offset, but Beckley should still get good field position.
Yeah, I think you're going to get maybe on the first flag, the halo rule, you have to give him a chance to make the catch. I didn't see a fair catch, but you still have to give and I think the other flag will be on the block in the back on Beckley.
That was Elijah Waller that went back to take that punt. And as you mentioned, Eric, I think you're right. I think it'll be offsetting penalties. A penalty on Riverside for not giving room So they may have to replay the down. They did not give Waller room to catch it, and then, as you mentioned, a block in the back.
But I don't think you'll re-kick it because both of them were live ball fouls.
Well, like I said, they offset, so we'll see. We're waiting for the officials to give the indication. There's the penalty on Riverside and a block in the back.
So will they do the old mark one off and then?
Well, like I said, since they offset, they may redo the down. I'm not sure here. The one thing, and you and I have talked about it many times, we think rules should be universal from the NFL to college to high school. They should be universal, and we know that they're not. And one thing I don't understand, like in college or in high school, and it looks like Riverside's going to back up and we're going to replay the down. And that's what I would think since they offset. There's the interference on the punt, not allowing enough time, and then the block in the back. So it should offset, and we'll replay fourth down.
And once again, you're right.
Well,
I'll say that. That's the first time
first time tonight, right? So Riverside will punt again. They try to maybe a little trickery there. Looked like they were going to go for it on 4th and 2 and try to get Beckley to jump. Good discipline by Beckley not to jump.
And that's what we stated because they got in what looked like was going to be a shotgun little pistol and then quick kicked it.
So Elijah Waller will be back near midfield. This might get blocked, and it looks like it partially is blocked and takes a bounce, and Beckley's going to get great starting field position inside the 40-yard line. So
yes.
Right now, Beckley's got things going their way.
Yeah, that was pressure straight up the gut right there, and it was partially blocked. And what Beckley did a good job of staying away from that ball once it was tipped.
So Beckley already up 7-0. Will have the ball at the Riverside 39-yard line for their first package of downs. And Jay Jones will bring them out. Like I said, Beckley may go with running back by committee as Beckley will line up with a tight formation. So 1st and 10 for the Flying Eagles. Jay Jones, the Beckley quarterback. It's going to be a running play just right off a right tackle, and the offensive line doing a good job pushing Riverside off the ball for a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, it looks like probably about a 7 to 8 yard pickup there, and Beckley's just in tight, and as you notice, I think the formula for Beckley on the ground is to run away from wherever Braden Ward is lined up.
Yeah, they'll get the ball down to the 33, get 6. That was more on the carry. So it'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Flying Eagles. Once again, power football right up the gut, just moving the pile. They'll get it inside the 30, very close to a first down, all depending on when they put him down at. And I think he's going to have enough to move the chains in another package of downs.
And what you can't do if you're Riverside, get lulled to sleep, with this ground game, this ground and pound, because the easiest pass to complete is when everybody's sucked up and you sneak someone behind your safety. If you look, their safeties and linebackers are pretty much even.
First down on the 27. It's another running play trying to get to the edge, and Riverside's up to the task.
Yeah, that's going to be a loss of maybe 2.
Yeah, that time carrying the ball was Honecker, and he had nowhere to go. And he will lose a couple of yards back to maybe a 1 yard loss back to the 28.
And that's the kind of negative plays that you need if you're Riverside in a run-heavy offense. You need to get them in down and distance. So this is a 2nd and 13?
2nd and 12. Man, it looks like Riverside's going to jump. Nice job by Jay Jones. The hard cadence, I think, is going to cause Riverside to jump into the neutral zone, and they'll pick up 5 yards on the penalty. And
right now, in this first quarter, the more disciplined team thus far is the Beckley. They've come out, they've hit a big play, turned them over, made them punt, and now they're what's pretty close to scoring range.
Yeah, they're at the 23-yard line. The spot to make is the 17, and they run misdirection, and that's going to get a first down as they move the pile down inside the 15. Good hard running, good blocking from that offensive line, and Beckley has a first down at the Warrior 14.
Yeah, just good hard inside football and, running at the teeth of the defense.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Beckley at the Riverside 14-yard line. Beckley scored on the opening kickoff, an 88-yard opening kickoff return for the touchdown. Mollahan tacked on the PAT, and Beckley knocking on the door for more. First down run, trying to get to the outside, now cuts it back in, flag down. This is going to come back. It's going to be a holding penalty against Beckley.
And right there, Braden Ward did not make the tackle, but he was the one that was held because they ran at him, and he's a load, and he did a good job of getting upfield and holding contain and got held in process.
Yeah, that was Nate Creighton on the carry, and as you mentioned, Eric, Ward's play forced it up inside, and then they get Beckley with a holding penalty, and these are the kind of things that kill drives. You got momentum, and then you have a big holding penalty down at the 14-yard line, so they'll back it up 10. It'll be first down. They'll take it from the spot of the foul, and they'll put the ball down at the 24-yard line, so make it 1st and 20.
And well, the only good thing about that hold, if there's anything good for Beckley, is this is 4-down territory. And with the kicker they have, they just need to get a few more positive yards and try to tack on 3.
So it'll be another running play and good power football and a big gain to make up some of that penalty yardage back. They almost made up the whole penalty yardage. They'll get the ball. They gained 9 of the 10 that they were penalized on the previous play and get to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, so it'll be 2nd and 11. And that is good down and distance one more time. And they found something on the right side of the offense, which meaning the left side of the Riverside defense that they're trying to expose.
And Beckley doing a good job at point of attack as they'll run the ball again right up the gut. Once again, there's a power move, and high stepping in the zone is up. Beckley touchdown. Great job of that offensive line, and high stepping into the end zone is Matthew Moore, a 15-yard run, and Beckley's extended the lead to 13-0.
Yeah, and right, like as you said, Mayor, it's just power football, just straight at the teeth of the defense. And, Beckley came down. They got off the bus ready to play, it seems, tonight.
Well, you get an 88-yard opening kickoff, then you go 39 yards in 6 plays. Moore finishes the drive, and they overcame the holding penalty. And Mollahan trying to tack on his second PAT. He was successful on the first try, and he will try to bang this through. And the kick is up, and it is good. So with 6:56 remaining in the opening quarter, your new score is Beckley 14, Riverside 0. You're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Onside kick.
And we're back, and Beckley onside kicked it, and they recovered it. So right now, in the early going, Eric, I think you would agree, Beckley has Riverside on the ropes. They run the opening kickoff for a score. They hold them 3 and out, and the Flying Eagles just went 6 plays in 39 yards. They got a 15-yard run from Moore. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. We love those blue cans of Pepsi.
Yeah, and that was as you saw, the viewers saw on the replay, that was a great situation 2 onside kick it. You had the Riverside offense retreating, just an easy 10 yards and recover.
So 1st and 10 at the 46 of Riverside. And like I said, Beckley's got Riverside on the ropes early in the game. Here's a gaping hole. Moore spins off of 1. Good, hard run. He 8, almost 9 on that play.
Yeah, that was a different offensive set right here as the Flying Eagles went to a little offset the old school USC with just 5 in tight, 6 in tight, and fullback and a tailback and 1 split out. So
picked up 8 yards on 1st down, and right now Beckley dominating this first quarter and definitely at the point of attack. 2nd and 2 for Beckley at the Riverside 38. Jay Jones over center, puts a man in motion. Here comes like a little reverse, and that will be like an inside handoff. It'll be enough to move the sticks, and a new package of downs for Beckley, Eric, at the 35 of Riverside.
Yeah, and right up front is where this game is being won right now. The Flying Eagles, really taking it to them, and Coach Surratt told us got to be able to line up and run at some people, you know, and that's the game plan, and they're sticking to it and to perfection right now.
So it'll be a first down. Here's a handoff right up the middle, breaking the tackle, taking it to the outside, down near the 20-yard line. That's a good hard run that time by the Flying Eagles, and that was Smith.
Yeah, Leontre Smith, you know, a fresh set of legs. And you said, Maris, at the top of the game that was going to be a running back by committee, and no one cares who gets all the glory. They're just pounding this Riverside defense right now.
That'll be another first down. Beckley goes quick trying to get to the edge. The ball is put down at the Riverside 22. That last play was a 13-yard run here on second down.
And it looks like Beckley's ready to go quick. They're back up. They have the offense ready, and they really have this Riverside defense on its heels.
Yeah, that's down to the 15-yard line.
Fumble.
And they're trying to go straight ahead.
Yeah, center quarterback exchange, and it still looks like it fell forward for maybe a gain of 1.
And actually, I said the 15. Actually, it was the 19. There's a timeout. We'll keep it here. So the ball now is put down at the 18-yard line.
Did you see who called that timeout?
I
mean,
did
it
not.
Doesn't matter, but I think
Riverside did.
The pace of this game, Maris, and is really Riverside's winded. They've been on defense the whole first quarter. They've only had, 4 plays?
3 and a punt, yeah.
3 and a punt.
So, yeah, the game started with Tylee Kimball, an 88-yard kickoff return. Mollahan tacked on the PAT. Beckley was up 7-0. Riverside then went 3 and out, and then Beckley got a short field. Beckley only needed 6 plays to go 39 yards as Moore ran it in from 15. Mollahan tacks on his second extra point to make it 14-0, and then Beckley on the ensuing kickoff have an onside kick, and it caught Riverside really not paying attention, and now Beckley on the move again, and Riverside has really needed a timeout. Their defense right now, I think Riverside doesn't know what hit them.
They don't know what hit them, you know, came out, and that's what you have to do sometimes on the road. You know, you said no home, you don't know how much home field advantage comes into play, but in the kids' minds, I think more so in high school than any sport, I think home field, because first of all, you got to travel down. You know, you're not comfortable. You know, you don't know where your parents are sitting or anything when you're on the road. And I think the Beckley team has really handled this early on.
Well, the ball will be at the 18-yard line when we resume play, and from the 18, they've got to get to the 12, so they'll need 6 yards. And actually, maybe they're setting the ball down. I thought it was the 18. I can't really see. Somebody's got. I don't know. They've got their look. Maybe they're looking at the turf out there. It looks like you got a couple of people out there with the official. Maybe that's why they called a timeout. Maybe there's an issue with the turf.
Yeah, it looks like they're maybe brought some kind of some spray, some glue, you know, to tear the turf. Might have been torn up a little bit.
So with the way that Beckley has had success here in this first quarter running the ball, and they need 6 yards on this third down play, I would think as long as it's not a real negative play here, I think Beckley would go for it on 4 down. I think they got 2 downs to pick up the 6 yards, and maybe think if they can score a touchdown on this drive, they can deliver the knockout blow here in the first quarter.
But without any yards here, you're looking at a 35-yard kick, and Mollahan's got plenty of leg, you know, to put that in. But I'm with you. I think this is 2 down territory.
So we'll see what Beckley does from the 18. It's going to be a running play. It'll be more to the outside. He breaks a tackle. He's looking like he's going to have the first down, and Beckley's coaching staff won't have to worry about it because they are dominating up front, and that'll be a first down for Beckley at the 11-yard line of Riverside.
And it's a numbers game, and right now the number is run off that right tackle, that right side of the left side of the defense for Riverside, and that's where most of the yards, most of the damage has been done.
That was a 6-yard pickup for a first down for Moore, and he was a lot more on that. From the 11, Beckley will scrimmage. Up inside with a running play. This is going to get to the end zone for a touchdown, and that Beckley offensive line just moving Riverside off the ball, and the Beckley has extended its lead to 20-0, and carrying that ball, I do believe that was, I think that was Grayton. And you can correct me if I am wrong, but it was hard to see in that pile as we watched the instant replay. I maybe can take a look here. It's hard to see the number. It looks like Grayton. Let me see when he gets up.
It's number 11.
Yeah, Grayton, that's who it is. And the PAT is good. So with 5:16 remaining the first quarter right now, Beckley has jumped all over Riverside. They ran the opening kickoff back, and they've scored the first 2 times they've had the ball. That drive, 7 plays, 46 yards. Nate Grayton, 11-yard run. Beckley up 21-0. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi. Nothing would taste better right now than an ice-cold Pepsi. So with 5:16 remaining in the opening quarter, and I think the home side, which we are located on, they're atop the home side on the press box. I think not only is the Riverside football team stunned, Eric, I think the crowd is stunned.
Yeah, and you know who else is stunned? The announcers a little bit. I really thought there's a lot of football to go, but right now the Flying Eagles are firmly in charge.
Yeah, I thought we'd have a very competitive game, but right now Beckley has taken it to them, and Riverside really looks flat, and I think they look flat because Beckley has made them look flat. And great job by Street Surratt's gang to really have a lot of strut in their step to start this game.
So right now, there are two things that the Riverside has to look for with this great kicking game that of the Flying Eagles. They've already successfully orchestrated this onside kick, and Mollahan has enough leg to get a touchback. So look for him to kick this one deep, directional to one side or the other, and try to pin them deep again.
Got a little bit of an upset brewing, and here's another onside kick, but a big hop, and Riverside's going to get good field position. They still have it on their own 49-yard line. So, trying to go to the well maybe once too much that time, and Riverside – that's really the first thing they had anything to cheer about is just recovering an onside kick, as they'll have it on their own 49. But Graham right now leads Bluefield 21-6, almost halftime at Mitchell Stadium.
Yeah, that's a shocker. Rivalry game, but both programs are. Graham's 2 years removed from a state championship in Virginia, and that program is definitely on the rise again.
So here's Riverside down 3 scores. See if they can get something going with Jake Walker's the quarterback. It's a running play off the right side, and it might gain a yard or two, crossing midfield into Beckley territory. Beckley will stack up the ball carrier up, and it'll gain 2. They might only 2 yards to the Beckley 49.
There's one thing that you stated. Coach Surratt may have gone to the well one too many times because you give some momentum back to the offense by giving them a short field, and if they can string something together here and get a score, they're right back in the game.
Yeah, and Riverside is in dire need of a score as Walker will look at 2nd and 8 out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, rolls, throws the pocket. It's caught out in the flat, and that's going to be the first down of the game for Riverside as he's rustled out of bounds in front of the Beckley bench and inside the 40. And as you mentioned, Eric, it's got the cowbells going, and it's got the home crowd excited as a couple of positive plays here for Riverside.
Yeah, and after a short field, if you kick that deep, I won't harp on it, but you're really trying to really put them away, and Riverside has a little momentum going their way now.
That's a 10-yard completion, and it'll move the sticks for a Riverside first down, their first of the game. So once again, Walker, the quarterback, 5'11", 150 senior. Here's a running play right up the middle, and Beckley right up to the task. A small gain, maybe a yard or 2, depending on where they put the ball down at.
Yeah, that looked like that play was going to go for a few yards, and they were able to slam the door. Beckley was able to slam the door and really fill that hole and make the tackle.
Yeah, that'll go for a 1-yard gain to the Beckley 38, make it 2nd down and 9 in what has seemed like a very long first quarter. So from the 38 of Beckley on 2nd and 9 for Riverside, Walker looks over the defense.
Look in the slot. We have Braden Ward in the slot here, man coverage here.
To throw, that's where they're going to go with slant, and it's caught, but it was caught, but a nice defensive play. What a big hit by the Flying Eagles. Kimball to knock the ball loose from Ward.
Hey, great play call and a good job of the safety coming up and laying the wood a little bit to Ward, not able to handle that. But I like what I see out of Riverside right there, getting your players out in space and trying to make something happen.
So it'll be 3rd and 9 at the Beckley 38. Let's see what Riverside will cook up here on this 3rd down play. Walker, the quarterback, looks at the defense, takes the snap, under pressure, sets up a little short pass. It's a very minimal gain, and a good job by Beckley as they defended it well. The ball is completed to Jalen Sims for like I said, a very short gain.
So this will be a 4th and 8 call here. And if you're Beckley, the thing that you have to do is the routes are a little longer. So you're going to have to run a 10-yard route to get the first down. So pressure. Get to the quarterback and get him off his spot.
And Riverside might be thinking that maybe set up a screen. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Everything right here is setting up for what looks like a bubble screen. to the left.
But Riverside comes with 4th down.
Someone's uncovered on.
And Riverside moved, and now what do? That's going to back them up. It was going to be 4th and 7, and now be 4th and 12, as there's a false start and just a mental mistake there by Riverside to take the ball back to the 42.
And what we talked about last night, a lot of these teams, those sins, self-inflicted negatives right there. So you had a manageable, first down. You still can get this, but now you're really going to see. I would play a little soft zone here, maybe not rush as many, and if you can get some heat on the quarterback with your rush, and drop back and just try to take it away. I wouldn't even field this. I would stay.
You're going to punt a low snap. Walker's in trouble. He's not going to get, I don't think, a first down. He won't. He'll get ran out of bounds. And Beckley's defense comes up big after Riverside had a little momentum. Beckley turns them away and will take over on downs.
Yeah, so after Riverside took it over at the 49 on the onside attempt, they turn it over on downs, and Beckley will get the ball, at the 40, 43?
Let's see where they're going to put the ball down. They'll 42. Put it at the 40. Actually, you were right first time, 43-yard line.
43-yard line. So you had to like that if you're Beckley. The defense bailed out, the special teams there.
And Eric, what we've seen of Beckley of their last 2 drives, one a 39-yard drive in 6 plays and one a 46-yard drive in 7 plays, you would think there would be no reason to put the ball up. They haven't needed to. They have dominated the line of scrimmage, and they've been able to run the ball, and you think that you just keep doing what's working for you.
Yeah, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
So here's Jay Jones, and now what do we got? We've got maybe a
delay a game?
Perhaps, yes, a delay a game, and really on a change of possession.
Yeah, but it's the new rule. You know how, and I'm not saying, but you should be aware of that. That clock starts as soon as possession is
changed. As soon as they set the ball down.
Yes, as soon as it's down.
Right.
You.
So that'll back Beckley up to the 38, make it 1st and 15. They overcame a holding penalty, and here's a Moore as he able to get across the 40. So far, Matthew Moore has been the workhorse for Beckley, and he gets positive yardage, carrying the ball over the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we talked about this in pregame. We really looked at him, and he looks like a player,
Yeah, so he
He's
gained
really
3.
Put together.
It'll be 2nd down and 12. And you're talking about the young man, Matthew Moore. He's a 5'10", 232-pound senior. So 2nd down, 12 for the Flying Eagles. They'll put Moore in motion, and they'll run here to the near side. And there's a break. This is going to go for a touchdown to the 40, 30. Beckley speed, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Beckley.
That's Tylee Kimball.
Beckley showing their speed. They had Moore going in one direction. They bring Kimball back to the other side, untouched, down the sidelines, for a touchdown of 59 yards. And right now, Beckley has delivered the knockout punch. That's a 2-play, 57-yard drive, and Mollahan trying to tack on his 4th extra point. But right now, the Flying Eagles in the white and maroon are looking good. The PAT, the snap's down, the hold's down, and the kick is up and good. 1:53 left for the opening quarter, and the home side is silence as Beckley has scored on the opening kickoff and 3 straight drives and take a 28-0 lead. Once again, the drive, 2 plays, 57 yards, and they get a 59-yard touchdown run from Kimball, the PAT. Good. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. And right now, Eric, I think that a lot of people are in surprise, but perhaps none more surprised than the home stands here at Riverside.
And you said it, the one thing, that we talked about is getting off to a fast start, and the Flying Eagles have done that. And, I don't think they wanted to hear the cowbells ringing or anything. They came down here on a mission, and right now they're handling business.
And they were very focused, even though we had that 30-minute delay. They came out and they set their own electricity, and the tone was set from the beginning. The opening kickoff ran back for 88 yards and a touchdown, and then Beckley, and they have really won the war up front. And that's the one thing that Coach Surratt had said to you and I and said on other interviews, that the key to this Beckley team in this season will be winning the war up front, running the ball, stopping the run, and up through almost 11 minutes of this first quarter, they have done that.
Yeah, and they've done it with a stable of backs, as you stated. Moore has done most of the running,
heavy lifting, yep.
But they've hit home runs with a couple other guys that, he pounds, and they sneak the other backs in.
We used this term last year, smash and dash, and that's pretty much what they did. They get the smash from Moore, and they get the dash from Kimball, and also from Great McKimball on the big run there.
The Kimball is like, we'll call him lightning. We're going to use this lightning phrase because – ooh, what a kick.
Mollahan, he'll put that in the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And once again, that's a weapon that I don't think a lot of other teams in any class have that kind of a weapon.
Well, I'm going to say this because I'm seeing a little extracurricular things after the play. If you're Beckley, you can't get baited into anything that's going to get you thrown out of the game, for next week. So you have to maintain that discipline too.
Another thing too, if you're Beckley, you've got to think, you're up comfortably, 28-0, but there's a lot of football yet to be played. We're not even out of the first quarter yet, so there's still a lot of football left to be played. And there on that last drive, it looked like Riverside had some momentum, and then Beckley's defense came up big.
Yeah, they went to – the thing is with Riverside now, you're going to see how multiple they are. And if you're Beckley, they're going to really – you can pin your ears back because you kind of made them one-dimensional. They're going to have to throw the ball.
And here's Walker, and he will throw the ball. It's across the middle, and it's caught. And it's a nice gain on first down over the 25 out to the 27-yard line.
Now, that was a great pass play, a little slant in traffic, and that's what you need, some positive yards. But if you're Beckley, you know that they're one-dimensional, and you just have to read your keys and maybe come up here with an interception or some kind of turnover.
They'll give him 8 out to the 28-yard line on the first down play, make it 2nd and 2 for Riverside. Walker working out of the gun. And if you're Riverside, you have to take the approach, you can't score 4 touchdowns on one play. You got to get back in the game a little bit of a time. And here's a running play that's not going to get a first down. They got to get to the 30, and Beckley was up to the task. And the Flying Eagles do a good job, as that was the 630-pound junior Terrell, and he's not able to get the first down.
I didn't see who made the tackle, but someone came in and made a tremendous open field tackle by the Beckley defense.
So they only get 1. They needed 2, so it's 3rd and 1 here. And Riverside desperately needing a first down and trying to keep this drive alive. This time Walker will work over center. It's going to be a running play. That'll get a first down. They break it to the outside. That's a big gainer up over the 40. Crosses midfield into Beckley territory and run out of bounds with a huge run that time. And that was Barra. Andrew Barra off the left side.
Yeah, and Beckley got caught up in inside, didn't hold contain, and that's just what the Riverside offense needed.
So they'll put the ball down at the Beckley 41-yard line.
Or a second time in Beckley territory.
That's a 29-yard gain and a first down at the Beckley 41. First quarter been dominated by Beckley. Here's Walker. Rolls, throws, got a man open in the flat. It's caught. Connections made, and that could be perhaps a horse collar. And there come the flags, and they'll tack 15 on to the end of that is Jalen Sims, a 5'9", 150-pound junior, hauling in the pass. And, Eric, you were all over it as the Beckley defender right here in front of us on the near side. That's an easy play to call for the officials as he horse collars him out of bounds, and they'll tack 15 onto the end of the run.
And all kinds of momentum here if you're getting some positive things going on, to end this first quarter. And a lot of football left to be played in this game.
Yep. So they'll mark off 15 yards. The catch and run took the ball down inside the 30. And with the mark off, they'll take it. Actually, it was from the 30. They'll take it right to the 15-yard line. And Riverside will have a new package of downs. 1st and 10 at the Beckley 15. So here's Walker bringing him up. This is Riverside's deepest penetration of the game.
Man coverage over top.
Here's the shotgun snap, throw to the near side. It is short hopped, or maybe he caught it and he was on a knee.
He was on the knee when he caught it.
So it is a catch, and they get the ball to the 10-yard line. They gain 5.
Clock should be running. I think it's stopped.
Yeah, it should be. We might get one more play off at the end of the quarter. Riverside doesn't look like they're in any hurry. And we'll see. Perhaps this will be the last play of the opening quarter. Walker works out of the gun from the 10. Rolls. Pressure comes. He's being chased. He eludes. And now Beckley's going to get him. And he might get back to the line of scrimmage. But the first quarter will come to an end. And then after the play, there's a late penalty flag. So we'll wait to sort this out as time expires to end the first quarter. So we're going to go ahead and take our first quarter break, and we'll sort out the penalty on the other half of the break. After 1 quarter of play here in Quincy, it's Beckley 28, Riverside nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football on Video Productions.
Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there, and these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia of Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business, which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank. Pioneer Community Bank with locations in Beckley, Yeager, Sophia, Moore, and Welch. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Riverside High School in Quincy, West Virginia with Maris Lowry. I should say with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry, as we have the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins here producing and directing, and as always, Chris Farish on stats. Well, after that last play when we went to break, it'll be a personal foul, a dead ball personal foul against Beckley. So Beckley had the quarterback, Jake Walker, for a sack. So on the penalty, Eric, that will be that'll make it an automatic first down and move the ball down. Looks to be inside the 5 or maybe right at the 5.
Yeah, and that was one of those plays. I don't think if you're Coach Surratt that you may not be mad at your player, because I don't think it was blown dead. He was playing to the whistle. That's one of those. I don't think it was a dirty play. Anything intended on that play.
So as we start the second quarter, this will be the 7th play of the drive. It started back on their own 20. Riverside trying to cap off the drive and get into the end zone. Here's a running play. They try to bounce it to the outside, and great Beckley defense. And coming up to make a great play for the Flying Eagles will be Honecker, 5'10", 155-pound sophomore.
No, I think that was Grayton.
Grayton, beg your pardon?
The outside linebacker. And that's unfortunate, because I think someone's down on the play for Riverside.
So while we've got an injury timeout, we'll take it with them as you're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
City National Bank, where you can purchase or refinance your home with the no down payment Champion Mortgage. No down payment, no private mortgage insurance, no kidding. Visit your local branch to get started today. City National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. To learn more, log on to mortgage.bankatcity.com.
Pleasant's up.
Out of the timeout, it'll be 2nd and goal for Riverside. That was a 5-yard loss, though, from the 5 back to the 10. So 2nd and goal for Riverside. And, Eric, I got to believe that Riverside, even if they have an excellent field goal kicker, they need a touchdown. So they're thinking 3 plays to get the ball into the end zone here. And Walker this time will work up under center on 2nd and goal. It'll be a running play off the right side. Riverside pounds it down near the goal line and going to be close to a touchdown, but looks like they're going to get him shy of the goal line.
Yeah, I think you're going to get down to maybe the 2 or the 3.
Yeah, maybe the 2-yard line. So it'll bring up 3rd down.
Looks like Beckley's going to sub in a couple, heavyweights to come in and try to shore up the middle of this defense.
Actually, they'll put him down at the 3. So Riverside will have 2 downs in order to go 3 yards here on 3rd and goal. This is the 9th play of the drive. We're into the first minute of the second quarter, what has been dominated by Beckley up to this point. Riverside on third down. Quarterback rolls. He's in trouble. Comes to the near side. Walker loses the ball. He fumbles, and I think Beckley's on it. They do. Beckley turns them away again as their defense steps up, and they force a turnover.
And big-time play. Penetration by the Beckley defense caused chaos, and, not anything's going right now for this Riverside offense.
Yeah, Walker was rolling here to the near side, and Beckley was on him, and Walker coughs it up. So on the turnover, Beckley will take over, and they'll have the ball on their own 8-yard line. First down and 10 for Beckley on their own 8. So Beckley has really, they've yet to throw a pass, and they haven't needed to. They have dominated in the trenches up front. They have pushed Riverside all over the field to this point. And we've got Jones up under center. Running the ball is Beckley, trying to find some running room, and not much as Riverside stacks it up. It might get a yard, perhaps. They will give him a 1-yard gain. He couldn't really see who carried the ball.
Yeah,
there.
That was like what the old adage, 1 yard in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, cloud of turf on this one.
Cloud of turf.
Or maybe tire, since there is tire pellets.
Tire pellets.
Tire pellets up under the
Burn
the
some
turf.
rubber.
Yes, burn some rubber. It'll be a 1-yard gain to the 9, make it 2nd and 9 for Beckley. And if you're Beckley here, you just want to take care of the ball. Defense has stepped up, and the offense, Beckley's got excellent play, special teams to start the tempo. Their defense has been good, their offense good. Here's a good running play, straight ahead, looks like more on the carry. Up over the 10, maybe the 12.
And I think Beckley, with their kicking games, content, to get it out a little bit and maybe just punt it away, flip this field.
There's a timeout on the field. We'll keep it here. Maybe you have some scores, Eric, that you can update our viewers on.
Yeah, and then we'll look through the AAA ranks, and wow, this is surprising. Parkersburg South 45, Capital nothing at halftime. Another one in the area that in the state that you care about, Martinsburg up on Salem, Virginia, 13-0 at the half. Hedgesville over Washington, 34-15. Point Pleasant, Double-A Point Pleasant at Greenbrier East, they're up 7-0 in the second quarter. Willing Park, 35, St. Clairsville, Ohio, 7.
So out of the timeout, Beckley has the ball on their own 12-yard line. They need to get out to the 18, so they'll need 6 yards on this third down play. And Beckley has scored every time they had the ball. They set the tone with the opening kickoff return of 88 yards. The 3 previous drives, 6 plays, 39 yards, 7 plays, 46 yards, 2 plays, 57 yards. And if they're going to keep this drive alive, they need at least 6 here on this third down play. Jones up under center, puts a man in motion. They'll power the ball to the outside and going to pick up a first down, or is he going to be very, very close?
I think he's right at the sticks.
And we got a late flag. So hold the phone. We do have a first down. I think it's going to be enough for a first down.
This penalty, I think, is going to be on Riverside.
And that was Kimball who got to the edge and picked it up. But wait and see what the penalty is.
I think we're going to have a dead ball, personal foul maybe.
So we'll wait and see.
Personal foul against the Warriors.
Yep, as you mentioned, Eric, personal foul.
And this is what you can't do if you're Riverside. Just battle. I don't like to see you to lose your. You don't lose your cool. It's an aggressive game as it is, but you're giving an offense that's pretty much dominates you. Extra 15 yards and some more breathing room.
Well, here's the thing. It's a moot point whether he made it or not, because the penalty will definitely give him the first down.
Exactly.
So they're going to move with the penalty. They'll mark it off, and a big 15-yard penalty on a late hit.
So they're
up over the 30.
33.
So it'll be a first down for Beckley on their own 33-yard line. There's another running play right up the gut. Gain a couple yards. That's more.
Smith on the carry.
No, that's a new back.
Yep.
That's you said it was a stable of running backs, Maris. I think that time that was, Leontre Smith.
Beg your pardon on that. Got an update from Mitchell Stadium. Graham leading Bluefield 27-12. As the ball's out over to the 36-yard line to pick up a 3 on that first down play. 2nd and 7. Jones puts a man in motion. They'll run the ball off the left side. And there's a nice hole close to a first down. Might be a couple yards short. His knee might have hit as he crossed the 40-yard line, and they'll put him down at the 41-yard line.
And that was Smith again on the carry. And, that's one thing you have to do as a coaching staff. When you have a stable of running backs as they do, it doesn't seem, everyone's getting carries. So everyone's, feels involved in the game.
And I'm sure as far as the kids go, they just want the end result. They want the W. They don't care who really makes the plays. So here's a 3rd down. And it looks like Beckley's going to be able to push very close to that first down. If they don't have it, I'm obviously very close enough to go for it.
Yeah, no, I think they crossed it, and
they had to get out.
Fresh set of downs there at the 45 now.
Yeah, they had to get to the 43, and as you mentioned, they're out to the 45.
Boy, it's a beautiful night for football, correct? I mean, this
nice breeze coming through, but it may not be so beautiful here on the home side because Riverside has not had a lot to cheer about. And they've put that cowbell away at least for now.
And this is the momentum-changing game possession again because, Riverside had that momentum and fumbled it away. It's more. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, but they had that momentum, and now this could be, a back-breaking type of drive if they've already flipped the field, if they're able to go down and punch this one in.
Yeah, Moore giving you more as he picks up 8 on first down. And, Coach Red had said this all in the offseason. To be the team they want to be, they've got to control the trenches, and that has definitely been the case. They have dominated up front on both sides of the ball. They've not had to throw the ball because they've been so successful at running it.
And too evenly matched as far as size as Grayton gets that carry.
And he'll plow inside the 45. The pile still moving. It's a first down and another package of downs for Beckley. And, boy, this is kind of like a slow death on Riverside. Beckley really just imploding their wheel on the Riverside Warriors.
Well, as we came to the game, our great stats man, Chris Ferris, said this is the type of offense, if Beckley can get going, it's going to – it's going to pound you, and then they're able to hit you with a big play after they wear you down, and that's what it's been.
From the 42-yard line, Beckley will scrimmage there, get the ball on a 2-yard run up the middle to the 40, and that is Ray, the sophomore. So like we talked about back in the pregame, Eric, a stable of backs, and Beckley has ran, maybe a half a dozen players at that running back position.
Yep. We'll have a chance to look at the stat sheet because – there's going to be a lot of people getting touches.
This drive started back on their own 8-yard line after they took over on downs, and now Beckley chewing up yardage and clock. And this will be the 10th play of the drive, a second down play from the Riverside 40. Jones has really done a good job of managing the team, and there's a run off to the left side.
I think that was Kimball.
It was. And the thing about it with these backs, none of them has gone down when the contact is first made. They have been able to fall forward.
They're running strong. The balance was shown in the first quarter. I wasn't able to give it, to you at the start of the second. But Kimball finished the first quarter with 64 yards, and Moore had 63.
And it also sits up for a manageable third down, 3rd and 6 at the Riverside 38-yard line.
This is definitely 2-down territory.
So Jones up over center. Long count, maybe trying to draw him off sides. We have another running play. And this is Moore. He bangs his way inside the 35. He's not going to have a first down, but obviously close enough to go for it. He's about a yard short. Maybe it'll be 4th and 1.
Yeah, he gives you a lean. The pile usually leans to his advantage when he's running.
So they're going to put the ball down at the 30. 3. He needs a yard. 4th and 1.
I'm telling you to play that the way this offense is set up, if the quarterback would just keep it one time, he may run a touchdown.
And this might be that time. We will see. Jones. Straight handoff. They plow the straight ahead. They get inside the 30. They'll move the chains and another Beckley first down. So right now, Beckley has pushed Riverside all over the field here in this first half.
Yeah, it's not really anything fancy, Maris. This is what, old-fashioned football.
And this is, if you have the ability to do it, Jones, you don't really need to throw. When you're doing what they're doing, Beckley, getting 3 here, 4 yards there, and, they've been in manageable third downs and close enough to go for it on fourth down.
Yeah,
you don't need to throw it.
And they've played real discipline, too. Not a lot of offsides, holdings, or anything like that.
Here comes a running play to the outside. Once again, positive yardage. One of the few stops. Riverside thinks the ball's loose.
The ball was loose, and Riverside says they have it, but I think Beckley may have came up with it.
Until the officials say they do, we're waiting to see as they're unpiled. Riverside is saying they have it, and as soon as you said Beckley hasn't made a mistake, let's see if they do right here.
I talked them right into it.
And you did talk right into it as Beckley turns it over. That was the 12th play of the drive, and Beckley, actually that was the 13th play of the drive, and Beckley turns it over with a fumble. So the first turnover for Beckley, each team with a turnover each, and Riverside will take over. And, boy, the Riverside defenses was gassed, and they definitely needed that if you're the Warriors.
And Beckley chewed up some yards on that. Where did that start at the 13 plays?
That started at the 8-yard line.
And they turn it over?
At the 33. So first down for Riverside on their own 33-yard line. And let's see if the Warriors with Jake Walker trying to get Riverside going. On a first down play, each team with a turnover. Walker takes the snap, rolls the pocket, pressure comes. He's on the move. He looks to throw, nobody open, and he's tackled from behind. And that's a great play by Grayton. Nate Grayton ran him down from behind.
And that was Nate Grayton who turned the ball over on the fumble, so he was playing with some purpose. Not that he hasn't all game, and that's what you like to see. He didn't hang his head after turning the ball over. He came back and made a great play, and that actually was a sack.
Yeah, go for 1 yard loss.
Yes.
That's correct. So Grayton runs him down from behind, showing that great speed from Nate Grayton. 2nd and 11 for Riverside. Walker takes the snap. Running play. We'll cross the 35 and get out to about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, big gainer there. Give him
3rd and 6 coming up.
Yep, 3rd and 6. And if you look at body language, as far as the Beckley team and the Riverside team, both teams look pretty conditioned because no cramps yet, and everyone's seems to be well conditioned.
Well, with all each team does in the offseason, that should really not be a problem. Here's Riverside running for it, and they're going to come up a little short, but no question they'll go for it. They get over the 40. They had to get out to the 43, and they'll put the ball down at the 41 and make it 4th and 2.
4th and 2, a long 2. This is a long 2. This is look for them to maybe try to do a hard count here, try to draw the defense off sides.
I'm really surprised they haven't tried to get the ball to Braden Ward more down the field to throw the ball. He was targeted one time and wasn't able to hang on, but with his size, you think he would just be able to go up and maybe haul a pass in. Let's see what Riverside does on this 4th down play. Here's the snap. Pressure comes. There's a throw. It's caught for the first down. Crosses Beckley territory and out of bounds with a first down at the Beckley 48-yard line.
And that was a good place of staying in the pocket by Riverside's quarterback, Jake Walker. And the senior really stood tall and delivered a strike and moved the chains.
They're going to say it went out of bounds at midfield, but it's still enough for a first down. So right at midfield, a new package of downs for Riverside. Walker out of the gun. Takes the snap. Handoff. And it'll go for a couple yards to the Beckley 48.
Number 23, Mason Harrison on the carry. Gain of 2.
So it'll be 2nd and 8 for Riverside. And they're really in no hurry.
Yeah, but if you have to somewhat play with some urgency with 2:47 to go because you get the ball back after halftime.
But I think if you're Riverside, you want to be able to take your time and score and leave Beckley with no time. I think that's probably what they're thinking.
Yeah, you're probably right there, but I think you have to be a little more urgent.
So let's see what they come up with on this 2nd and 8 from the Beckley 48. They'll roll the pocket with Walker here. Pressure comes. He escapes it. He's going to run. He's going to run out of bounds. He stepped out, I think, at the 46. I don't think he quite got to the 45. He didn't.
And good sound defense right there at all three levels of the Beckley defense. If you saw the offensive line, defensive line pursued, correctly. The linebacker scraped, correctly, and that was well played, well defensed.
Actually, he's out at the 47, so they're going to need 7 yards here on third down. The clock stopped because he did go out of bounds. So
that's just like a timeout for the Beckley offense.
So for Riverside, on the Beckley 47, need 7 on third down. Beckley looks like they'll dial up a blitz. They bring pressure from the edge. Walker sets in the pocket. He throws in. It's almost intercepted. That was a nice defensive play. Of course, the ball was not on target. The ball was way off.
And that was broken up by Elijah Waller for Beckley. And he had a chance to turn this ball over.
It'll be fourth down, and Riverside was trying to get the ball to – well, I got papers every which way. Where's the Riverside roster here? Looking for that. I can't find it, but we'll have it. It's over here. It's here somewhere. But nevertheless, it's fourth down.
You had it upside down, partner.
Here's the fourth down play. Walker under pressure. He's going to be sacked. What a nice defensive play that is by the Flying Eagles. And getting in there making the play is Aiden McPherson, a 6'1", 197-pound sophomore.
And if you look now, you have the ball on your plus side of your field with all your timeouts and 2:10 to go in the
So Riverside in their 4 possessions.
An update on the Wyoming East West Side battle for the shovel. It's 22 all in the second half is about to start.
So Beckley will take over at the Riverside 43-yard line. And Riverside, they've punted, lost it on downs, fumbled and lost it on downs in 4 possessions. Beckley's been outstanding on both sides of the ball. Here's going to be a running play. It's a nice, good, hard run.
And that is good recognition by Coach Surratt. Grayton had that turnover on the last possession, and he goes right back to him. And that's showing your player that you still have faith in him.
Yeah, Grayton will pick up 8 on first down, 2nd and 2 at the Riverside 35. And, Beckley's got to feel good about themselves and trying to maybe deliver the knockout blow here before halftime if they can punch this in the end zone. Grayton goes in motion, and they hand up to the up back, and that'll move the chains for a first down.
Yeah. The up back, this is a new running back, Bryce Ford, the 5'8", 163-pound sophomore.
So like we mentioned, Beckley using a lot of different backs, a stable of running backs. And a first down at the Riverside 32. So this is a first of 11 weeks. Is Riverside, no, it's going to be officials timeout. I think they're going to measure.
Officials timeout.
But it looks like he has the first down.
Looks like he has it by half a football from our angle, but.
Well, maybe they use that Wyoming County chain.
Hey, I know a member of that official chain gang, and he was real good.
He's so good they don't even have to measure here. You and I can see that.
Yes.
So Beckley, as we're approaching a minute left in the half, they have yet to throw a pass they haven't needed to. Here's a running play off the right side, a good stick up inside. I couldn't see who ran that ball.
Yeah, I couldn't either, but he was stood up in the hole.
Beckley's going to call a timeout.
And that was going to be Waller, Elijah Waller. That's another ball carry. And he is the 5'11", 152-pound junior.
Yeah, coming up on the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show, we'll recap the first half here. Of course, we'll have Inside the Numbers brought to you by Cracker Barrel. And we'll catch you up on some scores around the state. As I'm getting ready to say, this is the first of 11 weeks of the regular season that goes all the way through November the 4th, and then the postseason, 4 rounds of it, the opening round, quarterfinal round, semifinals, and, of course, finishing off the first weekend in December with the Super 6 in Wheeling. And, Eric, you may have some scores while we got a minute.
Yeah, while we have a minute, I'm going to try to get some updates here. Let's look at AA local. Right now, Oak Hill 10, at Nicholas County 7 at halftime.
And Independence will play Oak Hill next week. That'll be our video production game.
And it's also a future opponent for the Flying Eagles. And
right.
Another future opponent for Independence, Nitro's up 20-12 over Polka at Polka.
Yeah, I don't think they play Nitro in the regular season. They played them in
Independence plays.
Oh, Independence Polka. I beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. Sorry.
Yes, and Hurricanes up 28-7 at halftime in the third quarter over Winfield.
So out of the timeout, Beckley will have it. Put a man in motion. Here's the first throw for Beckley. It's a screen pass to Grayton, and he'll cut up inside, but a very minimal gain.
Yeah, they sniffed that one out, partner.
And Beckley maybe a little bit of urgency here. Clock running down, close to 40 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, you have to get something, towards the sideline. You have all your timeouts, but I think with the weapon that you have in Connor Mollahan, you need to at least try to get 10 more yards and get this manageable field goal try.
So from the 26 of Riverside, Jones to throw, and he breaks a tackle, but now he won't break the second tackle, and he'll take a sack. Back up over the 30, and Beckley's going to need to call timeout so they can at least maybe have a field goal attempt in the final 11 seconds.
They're out of field goal range here. I think they'll just let this one run down. And that's one thing Braden Ward can do. He went in and disrupted the passing game, and that's really the first time he's able to be a factor in this first half.
And we will go to the break with Beckley up big. So at the half, your score is Beckley 28, Riverside nothing. We'll come back with the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show as you're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps color options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
Welcome to Allstate. You already paid for car insurance. Why not take your home along for the ride? Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Call a local agent or 1-800-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
And welcome back to Riverside High School for the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry, the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, directing and producing, Chris Farish on stats. But Eric, right away, we've got to you got to really give Beckley a lot of credit. After we had a 30-minute weather delay, and both teams going through the same thing in the pregame, when the game started, Beckley showed their electricity right off right out of the gate as they get an 88-yard kickoff return, and that really set the tone for the entire first half.
I think it really caught, Riverside off guard the way they were able to return that kick, and it kept snowballing after that because on our scoring recaps, they went 6 plays, 39 yards after that, Maris, and a 12-yard run by Matt Moore, and Connor Mollahan able to tack on the extra point, and that put them up 14-0, with 6:56 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, and then they were able to add another touchdown drive of 7 plays, 46 yards to go up 21-0, and then they were able to strike again on a 2-play drive. So Beckley had everything going. They only attempted a couple passes, and we'll have all those when Chris Farish is done telling up the stats. We'll go ahead and take our first halftime break. When we come back, we'll get into those numbers as you are watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that just won't go away, call me today and I can help you get back on the playing field. To better serve you, see us at one of our 3 locations in Beckley, Whipple, and Sophia at the numbers listed below. So take care of yourself. You deserve it.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. You keep us going. Thank you.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications, or strings, or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
City National Bank, where you can purchase or refinance your home with the no down payment champion mortgage. No down payment, no private mortgage insurance, no kidding. Visit your local branch to get started today. City National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. To learn more, log on to mortgage.bankatcity.com.
Sandwiches, better with Pepsi.
And we welcome you back to the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry, and at the break, Beckley is dominating Riverside as they lead in the ball game by the score of 28-0. We're going to go inside the numbers, and inside the numbers are brought to you by Cracker Barrel with locations in Beckley and Princeton. This delicious eggs with great crispy bacon. I love that pig and some sausage links. Cracker Barrel in Beckley and Princeton. And for the numbers of the first half, which was a dominating first half by the Flying Eagles, here's Eric.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, and the numbers show it. If you look at the total offense, it's Beckley has 211 yards total offense to the 83 of Riverside, but it's a dominant 211 yards because 209 came via the ground game, and they had a total of 8 people run the ball. I mean, it was running back by committee, and they're led by Matt Moore right now. He has 12 carries and 81 yards, but he's the thunder. And the lightning for the Beckley team has been to Kimball tonight because he has the 87-yard kickoff return to open the game, and he's touched the ball 5 times for 72 yards. And they really just controlled the clock in the game on the ground.
Yeah, Kimball's been an all-purpose back, as you mentioned, and now officially 87-yard return. I know I'd called it 88, officially 87.
Hey, we go with the official
That's
guy.
That's right, but I know this. Tally Kimball, 87, 88. All he knows is 6. Yeah. That's the only number you need to know on that, right?
He was doing 87 down 77.
That's right, yeah. Well, nobody with lights on could catch him the way he was skating down that far sideline.
That's for sure. And not really much offense for Riverside, and they took a big blow as their running back Barra had 29 yards on 4 carries, and then he was injured late in the second quarter and is yet to return to the game. So right now, the ball game is fully and squarely in Beckley's control.
Yeah, Beckley dominated in the trenches, and that is, as you mentioned, on the way down here, our stat man Chris Farish had said he felt that Beckley would dominate on both sides of the ball, and he is the prophet. He is our crystal ball tonight because Chris Farish was on his game by knowing that.
Well, and he's called 2 things. He actually called that, and you don't know this, before we went on air, and he said, Probably going to have a rain delay.
Well, I guess we had a weather delay. Yeah, but anyway, right now, Riverside thinks maybe they're still in that delay because I think that opening kickoff, no question, that set the tone. When Beckley did that, Riverside, you could just seem like they were all jacked up, they were fired up, and it looked like they got their balloon busted, and not just from the team, but the big letdown of the crowd when that happened. And now they're in such a hole, and they're down by the score of 28-0. We'll take another halftime break and come back as right now the Beckley Flying Eagle Marching Band is performing as you are watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us. New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us. New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
Dad, what is a backflow prevention device?
Well, it's a device that's used to protect water supplies from contamination or pollution in homes or businesses.
Is that why you were talking to that man?
Well, he was a certified plumber from Modley's Plumbing and Heating. Modley's is fully licensed and insured in testing, installation, and service of backflow prevention devices. I just call 304-253-HELP, and they'll take care of it the right way.
I thought it was something for the car, so Mom wouldn't hit the house again when she was backing up.
Beckley Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia High School athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
And we welcome you back to Quincy, West Virginia, here at Riverside High School with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry here at the Massey Power Sports Halftime Show. And at the break, Beckley leads 28-0. And we appreciate all of our sponsors, including Indoor Air. Indoor Air, a proud sponsor of Raleigh County sports. For all your heating and cooling needs, call Indoor Air 304-890-2212. Well, Eric, maybe let's see if you can dial up some scores. And we'll let you rattle off some scores there of what you got.
Okay, so we'll go to this AAA heavyweight battle in Huntington with Spring Valley, and Huntington 14, Spring Valley 14 at the half, and some shocking scores coming out of Parkersburg. St. Albans made the trip up to Parkersburg High, and they're losing 45-0 at halftime. And across town, Parkersburg South has landed Wood, the Capital, 45-0.
Wow, it's amazing that both exact scores.
Yeah, both exact scores. And Martinsburg is going to be another heck of a team because they're beating Salem. And usually if they're able to beat Salem, it's Virginia. It's hard for anyone to beat them. They're up 20-0 at half.
Well, and Martinsburg has become to AAA high school football in West Virginia what Alabama has become to the college game.
Yeah, and this is a lot of area teams were interested in Raleigh County in this score. Fairmont Senior is up 35-6 over Lewis County in the third quarter. And as you stated, Graham up on Bluefield 27-12, still at the half. Herbert Hoover 19, Scott 6, and Summers County 14 and Pikeview nothing.
Well, you know, we cover here with this crew the 4 high schools in Raleigh County. Of course, 3 of them were in action last night, and Eric and I and our crew was over at Coal City as Independence beat Liberty 60-0. And next week, Independence will take on the Oak Hill Red Devils, who are playing Nicholas County. And I think you had a score earlier that Oak Hill was in front 10-7.
Yeah, it was 10-7 on that game. And here's another local interest is Greenbrier West 33. At home playing Buffalo, and it's 33-0 Greenbrier West at the half. And this is one that really shocks me. Ravenswood, another local team, up 28-0 over Magnolia.
Yeah, and also the other Raleigh County team that we'll be covering, Shady, they went to Tug Valley and got upset last night. Shady losing 32-21. Shady will be on the road again next week, and they will take on Nicholas County. But the video production game, the Raleigh County game of the week next week, Bill O'Brien and Mario Lowry will have that over at Coal City, and it will be Oak Hill against Independence. Of course, Eric and I will be in Columbus for Notre Dame and Ohio State. And then in a couple of weeks, I'll be in South Bend for Notre Dame and Marshall. And then Eric and I will be back again as a team when it'll be a Raleigh County battle between Independence and Shady over at Shady. And I've got so many papers here. I'm looking for the schedule. The date on that is September the 16th. So Eric and I got a game in last night, a game in tonight, and then we'll be off a couple of weeks from video production, and then we'll be back at it the rest of the way. But this opening week, with games all over the state of West Virginia, we got started late, but boy, Beckley had made up for lost time as they opened the game with an 87-yard kickoff return, and that has set the tone, and they've dominated this entire first half.
And you know what I like about this, Friday Night Lights and high school, this high school sports, both schools are well represented with their bands, you know, their pep squads. You know, they have the cheerleaders, and you have the lassies, you know, in town here for the Beckley Flying Eagles, which is really a good group of girls, you know.
Well, we got to give a shout-out to one of the members of the Lassie squad, and Eric, that's your own daughter, Lexi Thomas. And, of course, we had Lexi on last night in our postgame show at Coal City, and she said she was really excited and really going to be able to put on one heck of a dance because she felt good about tonight's game. And, of course, her middle school years, you know, cheering at Park, they had a lot to cheer about because Park didn't lose very many games the 3 years she was there.
Yeah, and you know, and that's what you need in your program. You know, winning starts with everyone, and the school spirit. And I try to, you know, teach her that win or lose, you need to show support and school spirit. And both of these teams, these towns are well represented here.
And, you know, we've had support for people watching these games on video production. We appreciate that. I've got texts from people all over the country, including a Beckley Hall of Famer, Mr. Tony Jones in Columbus. We'll see him next week when the Irish take on the Buckeyes, and I'm not so sure who he's going to root for. I think that he's going to have a shirt on game day. It'll be red and green, the red of Ohio State and the green of the Fighting Irish.
I will say about Tony, I don't think he cares who wins that game at all.
He's just going to enjoy the pregame and post-game festivities.
That's right.
All right, take a final break here at the Massey Power Halftime Sports. 28 to Massey Power Sports collected here at the break. 28-0 Beckley leads. You're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
Welcome to Allstate. You already paid for car insurance. Why not take your home along for the ride? Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Call a local agent or 1-800-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank. Pioneer Community Bank with locations in Beckley, Yeager, Sophia, Moore, and Welch. Member FDIC.
What's more important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps color options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
Yo, Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there. And these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia of Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
And we welcome you back to Riverside High School with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry. The heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, is producing and directing in. Chris Farish on stats. 28-0, and we're a couple minutes away of starting the second half. Beckley's made their way back out onto the field, and Riverside will be coming out momentarily. And we'll have keys to the second half. And keys to the second half are brought to you by Indoor Air, a proud sponsor of Raleigh County Sports. For all your heating and cooling needs, dial up Indoor Air at 304-890-2212. So, Eric, first of all, for the Flying Eagles, up 28-0 on the road. Coach Street Surratt, what do you think his keys are for the second half?
Hey, just keep maintaining, shuffling in running backs, keeping fresh legs in, and trying to win the battle up front, and really secure this victory.
And on the flip side, Riverside, you're at home. They're making their way back out on the field. You're down 4 scores, 28-0. And as a comment I made, you can only score one touchdown at a time. You can't score 4 touchdowns on one play. What's Riverside need to do to get back in it?
It's on the defensive side. They have to. It's only 2 passes thrown this whole game by Beckley. You have to dial up run blitzes. You need to really run blitz, bring people up to the line, force them to put the ball in the air. I'm selling out.
Yeah, as we take a look, as we mentioned, Beckley ran the opening kickoff back 87 yards, and then they had 3 straight touchdown drives, one of 39, one of 46, one of 57, and then they had a fumble, and then the half came for Riverside. They had a punt, turned it over on downs, had a fumble, and then turned it over on downs again. Each team's turned it over. Riverside will get the ball to start the second half. And if you're just joining us, we are running a little late. We did have a 30-minute weather delay, but once we got started, boy, the electricity came with Beckley as they were able to put a jolt in Riverside by, like I said, scoring that opening kickoff and then scoring on the next 3 drives. And Mollahan's been outstanding. All 4 PATs made, and Beckley up 28-0.
And that was one thing that we thought would be, a strong point for Beckley, and it's really proven to be a difference maker because they kicked it. They had a touchback, and even after scoring, they were up 14-0 to go up 21-0. They had an onside kick. So that in itself has provided a spark for this Flying Eagle.
Yeah, the rain delay, and I'm not making lightning delay. I guess it was, even though I never saw lightning. I guess we call it a weather delay. But Beckley seemed like they really handled that. We talked about this at the time. Beckley seemed like they really handled that delay much better, that they were up on their toes, and Riverside looked flat on their feet, and Beckley delivered a big haymaker right off the bat, the opening kickoff, and they've dominated ever since.
And we noticed that even after they came out with the 5-minute warm-up period, Beckley was overdoing,
their calisthenics
with
a little bounce in their step.
Yeah, with a bounce in their step. So I don't know what was said on either side in there, but it just seemed like they were more business-like.
And I think you're right. Of course, Riverside will get the ball to work left to right to start the second half. Riverside can't give up any more points. If they have any chance at all of coming back and making the game or even winning the game, it's got to start on the defensive end. And they've had the defensive side of the ball, and they've had no answer for Beckley's dominant front line, and like we talked about, the stable of running backs who ran the ball hard and ran it well for Beckley.
And you said it best. After a couple of running backs came in and out, they were interchangeable. They all looked the same. Even in the scrum, you're like, maybe, was it 7? Was it 5? Was it 11? Was it 21? They all, and the big heavy hitter, and Moore, he was the smash or the thunder to the lightning of Kimball.
Ground and pound, smash and dash, and that's what
right.
Beckley was. And Beckley was able to do the damage between the tackles, and they were also to get their athletes out in open space and use their speed for big plays. And Mollahan will tee it up, equal distance between the 40s there, and ready to kick things off to start the second half. So if you're Riverside, you got to think, there's still a lot of football left, but boy, you need to see if you can make something happen here on this opening drive.
And if you're Beckley, you've already tried the onside kick here. I think with the leg of Connor Mollahan, just try to pin him back, put it in the end zone, and let that defense come out and go to work.
Well, you're right. Well, he's already put it in the end zone once tonight as he's got it dialed up. And we are ready to get the second half underway with Beckley leading 28-0. Glad you're with us here on video production. And Mollahan is ready. And we are too. So here's the second half kick. And that's a good kick. And that's going to drive the receiver inside the 5 back to the 2. And right up the middle with a nice return over the 25.
Looks like a flag on the play.
And let's
right at
see.
the 40. So it looks like against Riverside by their body language.
I'm waiting for the officials to give an indication. And what do we got? We do have a penalty on Riverside, and Beckley may take them back. I wouldn't imagine that they would re-kick. They would just put them back in the hole. Looks like maybe a block in the back.
Well, it's going to be – you wouldn't re-kick because
right.
Put them inside the 20.
Right.
Yes.
So they're going to take them back, right. So I'm saying whether Beckley moved up 15 yards and tried an onside kick, you would just move them back.
Yeah.
So they're going to start on the 17-yard line. That's where Riverside will start their first drive of the second half. Brought to you by Beckley Automall. Beckley Automall, GMC, we are professional grade.
And you didn't want to start out with a penalty if you're Riverside.
So here's Walker. He's got them spread out. He'll take the snap. It'll be a running play, and for a minimal gain of a couple out to the 19, maybe the 20.
I'll tell you one thing that you can say about this, the Beckley defense. They haven't missed many open field tackles. They've been spread out, and if someone lays pads on you, you're usually going down.
So they're going to get the ball out to the 20-yard line, pick up of 3 on the second half's first play. 2nd and 7 for the Riverside Warriors on their own 20-yard line. Jake Walker, the Riverside quarterback. Beckley digging in deep. Beckley defense has been outstanding here tonight. Walker takes the snap, throw in the flat. It's caught. And as you mentioned, Eric, they have been really good at the point of attack, and that's a nice defensive play that time for Beckley. And making that play is Stewart, Christian Stewart, a sophomore, 5'8", 142-pound sophomore.
A lot of young players that we've called their number, and they've been up for the challenge. So this is going to be a 3rd and about 5.
Yeah, maybe a little more. That was only looked like a 1-yard gain out to the 21.
Yeah, you're correct. 3rd and 6. And
so they got to get out to the 27 to keep the drive alive, and without going 3 and out.
Here comes the rain.
Yep, so we do have a little bit of rain. Yep, the purple rain uniforms and the Eurythmics. Here comes the rain. Riverside trying to run to pick it up, and it's going to be very close over the 25. They had to get to the 27.
He may be a yard short by this spot.
And we might have a measurement. He's very close. Where the side judge is standing there, he's standing right there on the 27. I think he's going to have enough for a first down. He will just over the 27 for a first down.
But he barely got it.
So they'll put the ball down. We'll call it the 28-yard line. And it'll be a first down for the Warriors. So they're able to get a first down on their first possession. And they have a new package here, 1st and 10 on their own 28.
And they really spread Beckley out, to start this second quarter. And it's a numbers game, and they're doing a good job of
There's a run here to the near sideline and gains a couple yards.
And it looks like the quarterback, who also plays linebacker for Beckley.
Jones?
Yes.
So that was Jacob Alderson, the running back right there, that a very minimal gain. And so they get the ball out to the 30-yard line. a pickup of 2. In second down, and they're attending to the injured player. So they have to reset the play clock, as that's what the officials are saying.
They're going to give them, what, a 3-yard pickup?
2-yard gain.
2-yard gain?
Well, from the 28. We had him at the 28 out to the 30.
Yes.
And it'll be second down. And I still can't see. Now they get Jones up. I couldn't see because he was down right there, and he's coming. Looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, it may be our first cramp of the night.
Yeah, just go over and get him some water. And he's done a great job of driving the bus. And, you know, you hear this all the time, and some people don't like it to manage the team, but I think that's what he's done. As long as you keep the bus between the lines and don't run it over the cliff, all is good.
That's right. Keep it between the lines and keep it on task, and that's what he's done thus far. And right now, though, that's a big hole to fill, because he's played a lot of sound linebacker tonight.
2nd and 8 for Riverside on their own 30. There'll be a running play up the middle, and just going to be a couple of yards. Beckley has been very stingy, really, on anything, whether it be up the middle or to the outside. Beckley's defense as a whole, and of course, right now here into the third quarter, pitching the shutout. The carry, though, will get the ball out to the 33 and bring up third down.
And, you know, as a defensive unit, you want anytime you can throw a donut up on someone. Most defensive linemen like to eat a donut, and they like to put a donut up on the team.
So here's a 3rd and 5 coming up. Riverside's got to get out to the 38-yard line, having the ball on their own 33. They converted their last 3rd down. And will they be able to on this 3rd down? I don't think it's going to get there. They won't. But being down 4 scores, and they went for it in their own territory in the first half, you got to think that they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, and that's what's on the agenda here, because you're down 4 scores. You have to generate some type of offense on this drive.
And they've got a few running plays, and they've hit a couple pass plays, but they've had maybe 1 or 2 big plays, but they've never been able to really, I guess, consistently be able to do it. And this is a big play for Riverside on 4th down on their own 35. They need 3. Beckley's going to jump off sides and give it to them. Wow, Riverside got a real break. And, Beckley got a little anxious. Looks like they were going to dial up a blitz, and Beckley into the neutral zone, and now that will keep the drive alive.
Yeah, and that's what you don't want to do, those self-inflicted negative yard, because right there you had a chance to turn them over on downs and give your offense, the ball deep in territory. You don't want to assist the offense any.
That's why people say when they go into coaching why they don't want to be in coaching for plays like that. I mean, the way your defense has been playing, you don't want to give it to them, and Beckley jumps off sides. So with a 5-yard penalty, that gets Riverside out to the 40-yard line with a 1st down and a new package of downs. Here's Walker to throw. He's got protection. Going down the other side, he's got a man open. It is dropped.
Wow.
Right through the hands of the receiver here on the near side. And that is Willstone, it looks like. That is so small, Eric. You have to help me out right there. I can't see that.
Yeah, you're right. Kavion Willstone.
And that was a chance for a big play because he was open. And that was a well-thrown ball.
He was 2 yards deeper than the defensive back. Caught him in press coverage there, and that was their chance there.
Well-thrown ball by Jake Walker. And, when you have a chance, especially when you're behind, a chance to make plays, you got to make the plays.
Yeah, see, this is a new defensive back. Christian Stewart, sophomore.
Fumble, ball's out, and Beckley says they have it, but until the officials say they do, and they do. Beckley, yes. So that's the 2nd fumble of the night.
And if you think about it, that's two self-inflicted plays right there, because you drop what could have been a touchdown, and now you turn the ball over the very next play, and that's very deflating for a team that was trying to garner a little momentum.
So Beckley will take over at the Riverside 41 as Riverside fumbles the ball for the 2nd time. And this will be Beckley's first possession of the second half. And Jones is okay as he trots out. Jones got shaken up on that last series defensively, but he's back in there now to run the show from the quarterback position. And Beckley's had success running the ball, and that's what they'll go to with a run, spinning inside the 40-yard line. And on the run there was Mitchell. Mitchell, a 6', 190-pound junior.
A lot of young backs, a lot of young backs in the Beckley stable of backs.
And I'm not sure if we have a penalty flag, maybe, because it's going to go for no gain.
Yeah, there's a penalty flag on the 40.
I see it now. The officials will come over here and give the indication. We've got a dead ball, personal foul against Beckley. Dead ball, personal foul. They'll offset, and we'll redo it.
And this is what you can't get into, Maris, in both teams. Just play football.
Well, this rivalry has had some history of some scuffles. We've been a part of it.
Pre-game.
Well, I've been a part of it at Beckley.
Post-game scuffles.
Yeah,
right
pre-game in Beckley with Riverside jumping on the Beckley B. And after the game, down to our left. Yeah, so
yes.
I've been a big part of broadcasting this series between these two teams. Here's a running play as we redo first down from the Riverside 41. Beckley will plow ahead inside the 40 to about the 39 and gain a couple yards.
And Beckley's just lining up and running right at Riverside.
Yeah, that was Mitchell on the carry. So it'll be 2nd and 8. At the 39-yard line of Riverside. And Beckley with this big lead, really in no hurry, Eric. We're going to be under 7 minutes of the third quarter when they snap it here.
And Moore has snuck back into the game for Beckley.
And Moore is giving him more. But here's Jones to throw. Pumps out, throws it out in the flat, and he threw that a little hard. He had a man perhaps open, but it looked like there wasn't a real touch on that pass. He threw it a little hard, and it's an incomplete.
He threw a bullet, and if he'd have let that set up a little more, he had more behind the secondary, maybe for a touchdown.
So it'll bring up 3rd and long.
It's 4th down.
Well, I guess on that first down, maybe they counted the play. I thought they were going to redo the play. So apparently they counted that. And for the first time tonight, Beckley will have to punt. So I beg your pardon.
Well, let's see right here if Connor can put a little touch on this punt. He's been working all summer.
If Beckley moved, it'll cost him 5. But, Eric, I thought when they called a personal foul on each team that it offset. But maybe it could have been a dead ball, and that way the play counted.
Yeah, it was a dead ball personal foul.
That's why this, and I beg your pardon, that's why I had 3rd down and it is 4th down.
Yeah, but you're right. This actually may help the punter here. You don't want to see a penalty, but this may help him, pin him down.
So it'll be 4th down, and they'll back Beckley up 5 yards. And one of the few penalties that Beckley has had. I mean, even though they did get called there a minute ago, they haven't had very many penalties. They've really played good in all phases. Offense, defense, special teams, and like I said, they haven't had a lot of penalties tonight. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. And boy, that's a booming punt. Riverside.
That's tough to field.
And they shouldn't field it, and Beckley's going to be able to down to the right about the 10-yard line, or maybe
beautiful.
Just inside the 10.
That's a beautiful punt.
So Mollahan has showed why there may be some colleges checking him out, because he's been perfect on the PATs, 4 for 4. And as you mentioned, Eric, that was one great punt right there, flipping the field and putting Riverside back in the hole. They'll put Riverside
inside
down,
the 10.
Yep, at the 9-yard line.
Yeah, on any level of football, if you can, get off a punt with no return and put them and pin them, in the hole, that's a great job by Connor Mollahan.
So at the 9-yard line, that's where Riverside will start this package of downs. And now it's at the 9. Thought maybe they might move it to the 10, but they don't.
It's a mismatch over here. You have the bottom of the screen, Maris. You have Braden Ward. I'd like to just see him maybe give a shot.
Well, that's a name we haven't called a lot tonight. Here's a screen to the far side. And Beckley had it really well defended, but there's a slip of a tackle and a big gainer up over the 20, across the 30. This might go midfield. There are no flags, and it's going to be run down as Kimball saves a touchdown on that little screen pass, but it goes all the way down to the Beckley 25-yard line.
Wow. Kimball actually showed some great speed on this.
That was Sims taking that screen pass as we watched the instant replay.
Yeah,
and what good speed. Beckley missed a couple open field tackles.
But look, the speed of 7 from Kimball, he really caught him.
Yep, Kimball saves the touchdown as they'll put the ball down at the Beckley 25-yard line. And we've got a timeout on the field. We got an injured player. We got a cramp down here on the far side.
And I think
one
that's
of the Beckley
maybe
players.
Jones again. He came in.
Pass was a 65-yard pass, resulting in a first down for the Warriors.
So while we have that, we'll take a quick break as you're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Name is Hank, and I'm coming clean. Everyone I know thinks I know something about plumbing. Oh, I look the part. I talk the talk. I have all the tools, snake, pipe wrenches, torches, but I can't fix anything. I can't even flush a toilet. What they don't know is I've been calling Modley's Plumbing and Heating. They're fully licensed and insured. I just simply call 304-253-HELP, and here they come down the road to fix the problem. It just feels so good to get rid of the guilt.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that...
Biggest play of the night, a 66-yard screen pass for Riverside. They're at the Beckley 25. There's a running play. They'll get the ball down inside the Beckley 20. And Riverside with a little bit of life. But they've got to have urgency is because we're halfway through this third quarter.
Yeah, a little bit of life, and the cowbell is back in action.
Yes, it is. It's alive and well. Ball down to the Beckley 19.
Well, right here, though, is where it's been tough sledding.
And,
inside, just shortens the field a little bit here. And let's see what they dial up.
With the receiver of the size of Braden Ward at 6'6", you think they might go to him. They'll throw to the near side. It's caught. And it's going to be inside the 15. And that should be enough for a Riverside first down. And that should move the sticks, and it does. 1st and 10, Riverside at the Beckley 14-yard line. But, that's a name that we talked about on top of Braden Warden being one of the top players in West Virginia, but we have not called his name much tonight as there's a player from Beckley coming out, and Beckley will burn a timeout. So Beckley will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. You're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
So we're back here at Riverside High School. Riverside with the first down at the Beckley 14. Started this drive back on their own 9-yard line. Here's the shotgun snap, protection, throwing into the end zone, and it's going to be out of the back of the end zone. They were trying to get the ball to Sims, and the ball was really a little overthrown. Even if Sims had caught it, I don't think he would have come down in bounds.
Yeah, this is where you really, if you're a defensive back, you really like to play the pass here because you can use the boundaries in the back of the end zone as an extra defender, and that was a great job of press coverage there by the defensive back.
So let's see what quarterback Jake Walker will cook up here on 2nd down. 2nd and 10 at the Beckley 14. Walker takes the snap. Going to be a running play off the right side. He's going to break a tackle and get into the end zone, and the ball's hit. It's a fumble, and Beckley's got it. What a big play as Beckley was able to get the fumble, laid the wood. That should be a turnover in Beckley's ball. They're going to discuss it.
Definitely.
Did he break the plane of the goal line? I don't think he did as we watched the replay.
That is a turnover on downs.
But that should be Beckley's ball. Let's see. There's the run. I don't think he's in. That's a fumble.
That's a fumble.
That's clearly a fumble, and it's Beckley's ball, and the right call is made. And for the third time tonight, Riverside will turn it over.
He fumbled at the 1.
I still haven't seen the officials get. Now they do.
That is the correct call.
That is the correct call. That was a big-time hit.
That's the correct call.
As the ball pops out at the goal line. I didn't see who made the hit, but that is the correct call.
That's the correct call. He fumbled at the 1.
So the third time tonight that Riverside has coughed it up And, boy, they had help coughing it up because that was a big-time hit.
I think that was Christian Stewart. I don't want to give him the credit if it wasn't him, but whoever came up from the corner position really laid a wallop on the Riverside running back.
Yep, and denies Riverside a touchdown, and Beckley will take over on their own 2-yard line. And, Eric, that's a kind of play. Now there's a penalty flag, and I think Riverside is going to get caught for unsportsmanlike conduct as they continue to argue the play. As the official was over here right in front of the Riverside bench when the laundry came out. So let's
and that's going to aid Beckley again. Dig them out of the hole, get them to, the 17?
Yeah, that's just frustration because Riverside thought they had a touchdown and a big hit, and the ball popped free, and now Riverside arguing the call, and that's like a technical in basketball, a 15-yard penalty. And as you mentioned, Eric, that'll get them out of the hole and get the ball out to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, and that's breathing room right now. And, so if you're Beckley, you just can't get caught up in this. And
so out to the 17. The Riverside fans are applauding their coach, but I'm not sure that was such a good play.
Well, I hope they all go home and watch the replay of this. And the refs got it right.
They did. They didn't even need us to tell them what the call was. They got it right.
They got it right.
But that was a big-time hit, and when I was calling it, as it happened, I thought he was short of the goal line, and then as we watch it on replay, he was. Here's Beckley as they'll run the ball, and, boy, good hard run right up the middle. And like I said, the stable of running backs for Beckley, and that is Smith.
Yeah, Leontre Smith has done a great job of, coming in and straight up. All his work has been straight up the middle.
And that's going to be out to the 29-yard line. That'll be a first down. But, you got to give Street Surratt a lot of credit. He has done a good job of running in these different backs and help wearing down Riverside. But Beckley's been the more physical team, and that's what Coach Surratt had talked about all in the preseason. Now Beckley fumbles it right back to Riverside.
Yep.
Beckley turns it over, and
Kimball.
There's an injured player, Kimball.
I just think maybe his pride.
Pride hurt as Beckley gives the ball right back on a turnover. And, Eric, we had talked about, we know the history of these two teams of how they've really had the extracurricular activity. We hope we don't have none of that tonight.
Yeah, and I think both teams are getting caught up in the talk.
And pushing after the play
just
all
play
that kind
football.
of stuff.
If you're Beckley, right after this series, I will pull my Chargers over to the side and say, listen, do our talking by the scoreboard.
So on the 34 of Beckley, Riverside will take over of the Beckley fumble.
Oh, Beckley has too many men on the field.
And now a flag, and Beckley's going to get caught with illegal substitution. And
no,
they're going to get
they
Riverside.
Broke the huddle with 12. The offense broke the huddle.
Yes,
yep.
And you can't do it, and that'll penalize Riverside 5 and take the ball back to the 39 and make it 1st and 15.
So they both it was a total of 25 people on the field at that time.
But the officials are talking, and let's see if they change this call. Maybe he pointed the wrong way because I thought Beckley did have too many men on the field.
Yeah, but Beckley was never officially in the huddle. They were shuffling people. You can't break a huddle and have someone run to the sideline.
So the officials are discussing it,
and
they're going to pick the flag up because both teams, as you mentioned, Eric, they had 20. Each team had multiple players.
20-some people on the field.
Yes,
like 25, 26.
And I think this crew's done a good job.
They've done a good job of getting together and getting
convert
it right.
And yes. That's a good piece of officiating. So Riverside off the turnover will take over at the Beckley 34-yard line. It'll be Walker out of the gun, takes the shotgun snap, steps in the pocket, goes right down the middle with the pass, got a man open, and it's dropped. That should have been a touchdown.
Yeah,
we've had that happen a couple times tonight.
That's 2 drop touchdown passes for
and
Riverside.
That ball was Logan Spurlock.
Yep.
And he was open. And that was a well-thrown ball by Walker, but not able to connect.
And Walker stood in under duress, under some heat, and delivered a dime and dropped again.
But that's one thing, you'd think with the size of Ward, 6'6", 220.
Something up to seam.
Well, with his size, that you could throw it and let him go up and get it. But we haven't, on either side, offense or defense, haven't called his name much tonight. Here's going to be a running play for Riverside. Right up the middle, a good gain down to the Beckley 20-yard line. That'll be a 14-yard pickup and a first down.
Yeah, that's Bishop Harrison.
Right up the middle.
Right up the middle.
Ball right on the Beckley 20.
Now, he's had a chance to get in because of the injury to the running back from Riverside in the second quarter. And other than that fumble, he's done a great job of getting up the middle as Beckley brings some heat.
Here's a throw to the end zone, and there was some contact, but I don't think that ball was catchable, and I think it was out of bounds. Riverside hoping for a flag, but overall I think it was pretty good coverage, and like I said, I just think the Riverside receiver, he ran out of real estate.
Yeah, ran out of real estate, and the quarterback delivered that one with a little heat on it because Beckley bought a delayed blitz there and brought some heat.
Yep, Jake Walker, the 5'11", 150-pound senior quarterback, 2nd and 10 at the Beckley 20. Beckley's defense may have bent a little bit, but it sure hasn't given in. It has not broke. They've been outstanding in the red zone. Walker takes the snap. It's going to be a running play. Got some running room and a big, hard run inside the 15. Gains 8 down to the 12, and it'll be 3rd and 2.
It looks like the running back, Bishop, patting his head. He needs to come out. And they sub in for him.
But moments like this is when the Beckley defense has stepped up. Can they do it one more time as Walker gets the play? 3rd down and 2 for Riverside. The ball at the Beckley 12-yard line. Walker this time will work under center. And he fumbled the ball, but he got it back.
Fumbled it again.
But it'll be 4th and 2 now.
And it seems like you can correct me if you're not noticing what I notice. It seems like they do a good job of spreading Beckley out all the way until they get inside the 15.
And then they want to make it tight, and then they can't run against Beckley because
yes.
Beckley has dominated up front.
I think they're doing a good job with running lanes by spreading Beckley out.
And here's where I say, where you got 6'6" Braden Ward, why you could just throw the ball up to him and let him get it at his highest point.
See,
and I don't even he's
right
in the game here at the tight end. So we'll see.
He has a linebacker on him. I'm throwing a post. Just run straight.
Walker with a 4th down play. It's a running play. It's going to be a 1st down. And it'll be 1st and goal for Riverside inside the 10. There's a late flag again. Is the Beckley player and Riverside player caught up? We'll see what they call.
It's a flip of the coin here. It could be on Beckley, but all this after the play type of stuff, I think this one's going against Beckley here.
We'll see. If the play stands, let's see if the play stands, it's a 1st down for Riverside at about the 7. There's a personal foul on Beckley. So they'll go half the distance from the game, and this should get the ball down to the 3-yard line.
Results in a first down.
And the ball will go to the 3-yard line, or the 4 rather. They'll put the ball down at the 4. It is a 1st down for Riverside. So 1st and goal for Riverside at the Beckley 4.
I look for him to give it to the running back who's been gashing Beckley here in the second half, Harrison here.
Walker takes the shotgun snap to throw. Got a man wide open, throws, touchdown. Right there in the end zone, hauling it in is Jeffries. Brock Jeffries will haul in a 4-yard touchdown pass from Jake Walker, and Riverside is on the board. And after the Beckley turnover, Riverside goes 34 yards in 7 plays, and Walker the touchdown pass, as I mentioned, as he gets the touchdown pass to Jeffries. So Riverside on the board, and they will attempt to kick the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good. So your new score is now Beckley 28, Riverside 7. 2:50 remaining here in the 3rd quarter as we'll keep it here. As your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Drink an ice-cold Pepsi. And, of course, after a Beckley turnover, Riverside able to go 34 yards in 7 plays, and they get the 1-yard touchdown pass, actually the 4-yard touchdown pass, rather, from Jake Walker to Brock Jeffries, and they add the PAT, and they cut into the Beckley lead of 35-7. But, Eric, I think if you're both teams, especially if you're Beckley right now, even though you give up the touchdown, you want to collect your players and say, look, let's cut out all the after the whistle stuff. Let's kind of reassert ourselves and kind of get back to what got us the lead in the first place by grinding the ball, running the clock, and, stick to our basic run offense, which they've been they really did a great job at thus far in this game.
The third quarter thus far has been sloppily played. So as good as the first 2 quarters were for Beckley, they've gotten into their own heads, so to speak, with a few turnovers, few late hits, extracurricular stuff that you don't need to get drawn into when you were up at that point, 28-7.
Well, at the end of the third quarter, Eric, and Graham and Bluefield, we knew that was a great game. Graham leading 27-25 as they go to the fourth quarter at Mitchell Stadium.
So, the Beavers are not going to go away quietly, that's for sure.
And that is such a big rivalry, and they had right at 10,000 people there at Mitchell Stadium, a battle between the 2 Bluefields, Graham on the Virginia side, and, of course, Bluefield, the Beavers, on the West Virginia side. So Beckley's set to receive the kickoff, and if you're Beckley, you got to watch out for an onside kick.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. All the up backs, don't even retreat, turn your back. You need to, backpedal and keep your eye on the ball here, because if you're Riverside, you're looking for something to turn the tides here again, being down 3 scores.
And if you're Riverside, you're going to try to tackle the ball. They were able to score off a turnover there, gave them the short field, and able to go the 34-yard drive to get in the end zone. And here comes the kick, and it is an onside kick, and we got a whistle.
It's going to be an offsides.
I think maybe
they blow it dead.
Will, or maybe they kicked it before the official said that they could.
That's an encroachment. I think it was encroachment. The guy crossed the line before.
Either that, or I don't think the officials was ready for them to kick off. I think it's a 5-yard penalty on Riverside. They should penalize them because I don't think the official had told them they were ready to kick, and if that's the case, they blew it because now Beckley knows what they're going to do. But they should back them up 5 yards. And there it is. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Mm-hmm. Offsides on the rule.
Yeah, and if you're Beckley right here, get right, put your toes on the 5 yards because you got to scoot up now on 10 yards.
Right.
And, just they're taught. If it comes to them right there, just get down on it.
Well, the thing about it is in Riverside that's the thing they wanted. When you kick an onside kick, especially on turf, you want that big hop.
Yep.
So, it's kind of like baseball. You can't wait for the ball to come to you. You got to be able to play it.
Yes,
right.
Play the ball.
So, Riverside kind of, you think they'll probably come back. They'll probably do it again.
Yeah, I would.
And they will. And they don't even go 10 yards. That should be Beckley's ball because the ball never went 10 yards.
They touched it before.
Right. It never went 10 yards.
Ball.
Right. So Beckley's going to get it inside the Riverside 45-yard line.
Should be right at the 44.
Yep, because like I said, the ball did not go 10 yards, and you cannot touch it before it went 10 yards, and Beckley will take over there. And you are correct, partner. They'll put it down at the Riverside 44-yard line.
And if you're Beckley, this is the best thing that could have happened because you spent most of the third quarter on your side of the field, and right now you need to regain this momentum and, without turning the ball over and try to carry this possession into the fourth quarter.
And I think if you're Beckley, you'll go back to what you had great success with, and that's ground and pound, smash and dash, and that's what Beckley has. They've dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and they got that tight formation. Jones up over center, puts a man in motion. They'll pitch it to him. And trying to get to the outside, and Riverside up to the task. There's a flag.
It'll be a hold on Beckley.
Looks like we could have a hold. Yes, that was Kimball carrying the ball, trying to get to the edge. And that flag came right in where you normally have a holding penalty.
And right now, the Beckley team is playing very sloppy.
And there is the holding penalty against Beckley. And no question they'll move them back.
Holding on Woodrow Wilson.
So they mark off the holding penalty. That'll take the ball back across midfield. And Beckley will have it. They take it from the spot of the foul. Beckley will have it on their own 45-yard line. So from their own 45, here's Jones to throw. Throws out in the flat, incomplete. And the one thing about it, Jones just has not really had it. He's not really had the touch on his passes here tonight.
I think he's just reading his first option because going up the seam for a second time has been the up back, and they'll have to point that out in film study because you can't just get locked in on that receiver because the second progression was wide open.
So it'll be a second down play on the incompletion. Beckley substituting a few players in. We're down to 10 seconds on the play clock. They're going to have to hustle here so they don't get caught for a delay of game. Now we're down to 4. They're going to have to hurry up and hustle and snap the ball. Jones just gets it off to throw down the middle, and it's incomplete. We got a flag. I'm not sure they got it off.
Illegal shift.
Yeah, and that's the reason they had the illegal shift. If you're Riverside, I would take the result of the play because it was an incomplete and stop the clock. And they will take the result of the play and make it 3rd and long. But as you mentioned, Eric, and I totally agree, as good as Beckley looked in that first half, this third quarter has been very sloppy.
Yeah, this is one that they want to ball up and throw away because as good as they looked in those first 2 quarters, and this game is far from over.
Especially if Riverside holds them or if Beckley was to turn it over here.
Yes.
You're right.
This game is far from over.
So we'll see what Beckley will come up with on 3rd down. 3rd and long. Jones puts a guy out wide. Let's see, will he throw it on 3rd? He will. Back to pass. He throws the ball, and that's to nobody. I mean, he overshot him. So that will stop the clock, and that'll force a punt for Beckley, only the 2nd punt of the ball game for the Flying Eagles. But the one thing, as good as Jones has done in a lot of areas, his passes have really not been on target at all tonight.
He's a little rushed with his progressions. So, and this is where you need Connor to really directional kick it. You want to make it tough tough to field here, and he has the leg, but you want to do something where you're punting it away.
Here's the kick. You want to make sure you cover, and it's a really good kick.
That's a good one. It's going to turn over.
Yep, take a big bounce, and if you're Riverside, you don't want to field that, and the ball's going to roll inside the 20. And it might roll. Well, Beckley trying to get it to roll the 15. They're going to put it down about the 16. So that's where Riverside will take over, and that was a good job. And like I said, that's a weapon with Connor Mollahan.
Another great punt, and he does a good job. You can tell if you're not recruiting him, you need to recruit this kid because he has a leg. He has a football brain. He does a good job of keeping it away. His 2 punts have been perfect.
Well, people have an opportunity far and wide to watch these games here on video production streaming, and then you can also watch the replay on YouTube as well. So you have an opportunity to get a look at these players as Riverside will have it on their own 16-yard line, a 1st down. They scored on their last possession as they went 34 yards in 7 plays. But they'll run the ball this time, and they won't get quite to the 20. Ball gets out 18, maybe the 19-yard line.
And this is where the Beckley defense has been at its best when they can not give up the chunk plays early and get the down and distance going.
So it's a 3-yard gain on 1st down, 2nd and 7 from their own 19. And working out of the shotgun. Shotgun snap to Walker, throws the ball. It's going to be he's out of bounds. He caught it, but he's out of bounds. The official was right there. That was a great over-the-shoulder catch by Jalen Sims, but it happened right here in front of us here on the near side 50, and that's a good call. He was out of bounds.
And great defense by the defensive back from Beckley. Use that boundary. That boundary is your friend, and he did a good job of running stride for stride and finding the ball and knowing that the kid was the offensive player was running out of bounds.
Yeah, clearly out of bounds. It was a nice catch by Sims, as I mentioned.
So now this is a 3rd and long here.
3rd and 7. Walker out of the gun for Riverside. They have the ball, does Riverside on their own 19. Walker takes the shotgun snap, rolls the pocket, pressure comes. He's on the move. He's able to break containment, throws the ball back against his body. Got a man out there, and it's caught. And this is going to be from the 40 to the 30. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Riverside. As Riverside hits the home run ball, an 81-yard touchdown pass as Walker was rolling to hit the far side, and hauling that in is Michael Terrell, a 5'6", 130-pound junior, and Riverside has scored on back-to-back possessions and now back in the ball game.
And right back in it, just like that. This game was sort of a snoozer, and it doesn't take much, and momentum, we talked about it at the top of the game, is real, and now this home crowd is back charged. The bells are fired up, and now Beckley's sitting around wondering, what have they done?
That's a 3-play, 84-yard drive, and that's an 81-yard touchdown pass from Walker to Terrell. And now comes a very important extra point. It's up, and it is good. And your new score, with 1:16 left in the third quarter, is now Beckley 28 and Riverside 14. You're watching live streaming coverage of high school football here on Video Productions.
Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. They got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there, and these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia in Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us. New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us. New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
We've got some excitement in the game as Riverside have scored on back-to-back possessions. And this time, what electricity in the stadium after that 81-yard touchdown pass. Walker going to the far side, able to heave it up and haul it in is Michael Terrell. And we'll get into the scoring recap after the kickoff. As now it's an onside kick, and it's going to – Riverside may have it. I think they got it inbounds. I think Riverside has recovered it. Let's wait and see. And I haven't seen the officials give the call yet. Illegal touching by Riverside.
Yeah, touched over there.
I wasn't able to see, so Beckley will have it.
It went off the shoulder pads.
Well, we got the replay right here. You're right. It hit a lineman right there, shy of 50. But anyway, that last touchdown drive, the scoring recap, was a 3-play, 84-yard drive. The 81-yard touchdown pass by Walker, and Walker hit Terrell. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Drink an ice-cold Pepsi. So now Beckley trying to regain the momentum, Eric, and Beckley will have it on Riverside's half of the field with a first down at the Riverside 46-yard line.
Yeah, and not much has gone right offensively or defensively in this third period for Beckley. They need to really reset themselves, and a first down is a must on this possession.
So let's see what Beckley will cook up here. They run the ball straight ahead, and now Riverside's got momentum. That'll be maybe a 2-yard gain, crosses the 45 and gets the ball to the Riverside 44-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Oh, momentum has them fired up. These guys are ready.
2nd down and 8 coming up. And if you're Beckley, you don't want to be in no hurry. We're under a minute for the third. So let's see what Beckley will do on this 2nd and 8 play from the Riverside 44. Tight formation for Jones up under center. They're going to run the ball right up the middle, trying to move the pile and get it down to the 40-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down coming up.
And that could be the last play of the quarter, as the play clock was going to be reset, and it's under 28 seconds.
And if I'm Beckley, I would let it run down and end the quarter. I would not be in no hurry. You've got a 2-touchdown lead. You had a sloppy third quarter. You may want to shrink the game, and that's what Beckley's going to do.
And say, let's win this quarter.
So we're down to the final fourth quarter coming up. We'll keep it here as the score is 28-14 in favor of Beckley as we start the fourth quarter. And, Eric, we've really had a tale of two halves. The first half, all Beckley, as they set the tone by getting the opening kickoff. A Kimball 87-yard opening kickoff return to go up 7-0. And they scored on 3 drives after that to go up 28-0, and that's what they led at halftime. But Riverside able to put back-to-back drives together, and they hit that big home run 81-yard touchdown pass, and they've cut the Beckley lead in half.
And that play was a classic play of you still have to do your job on defense, because it looked like Beckley had them flushed. It was 3rd and 8. The defensive back gave up on the play, and the receiver, Michael Terrell, for Riverside kept running his route and was found deep for a quick strike. And that's what you didn't want to happen if you're Beckley. You're only up 2 scores now. Riverside's really cutting to this lead. And I think this is a big down here for Riverside.
As we go to the fourth quarter, we appreciate our sponsors, and one of our main sponsors is Indoor Air, a proud sponsor of Raleigh County Sports. For all your heating and cooling needs, call Indoor Air 304-890-2212. Start the fourth quarter from the Beckley 40 on third down. It's a running play right up the gut, and it's going to be, it looks like enough for a first down. It's going to be very close, but I think he's going to have it. And I couldn't tell if that was more. It looked like it was more that plowed straight ahead.
No, I think that's another new back, Mayor,
Another new
they
back.
brought in. I think that's.
But it's going to be fourth and short. He didn't quite get what he needed.
That was Bryce Ford on that run for Beckley, and this is where I think you need to bring more in. And
going to need about a half a yard.
This is tough sledding, and you definitely don't need a turnover on downs here. And this is a different formation for Beckley here.
Yeah, instead of under center, they'll run out of the gun. It'll be a handoff up the middle, and that'll get a first down.
Yes.
Good hard running to the Riverside 35, and inside the 35 to the Riverside 34-yard line, a new package of downs, and that's what Beckley desperately needed to pick up a first down.
Yeah, bodies everywhere. This is turned into a slugfest in the trenches right here. And if you're Beckley, Riverside desperately needs a stop, and Beckley desperately needs first downs, to run this clock.
Yeah, and you're Beckley, you know how to play with the lead. You had a 4-touchdown lead. It's been cut in half to a 2-touchdown lead. Main thing, you just want to hang on to the ball if you're Beckley, and if you're Riverside, you're going to try to tackle the ball. So from the 34 of Riverside, a new package of downs, and the work out of the shotgun this time with Jay Jones. He'd been up under center most of the night.
See, I think Beckley's trying to play a numbers game, get some of the people out of the box where you can control.
Beckley moved the wide receiver here on the near side, and they'll get him for illegal procedure right here. Elijah Waller. And, boy, that's just mental mistakes right there, because there's probably going to be a running play. It probably wasn't more likely. Wouldn't you think there's going to be a running play? Wasn't even coming to him?
And that's what we're saying in tight games. You still have to you're tired. It's physical. You still have to keep that mental toughness. And you give the defense momentum where they can pin their ears back and really come at the defense with some run blitzing and clog the gaps on this offense.
Yeah, 1st and 15 on the Riverside 39, put you behind the chains. Working out of the shotgun, Jones. He steps, makes one throw. It's going to be like a little wide receiver screen, but Riverside all over it, and that's going to lose yardage. Yeah. There was nowhere to go as they try to get the ball
in space. That was to, I think, Grayton.
Yep, trying to get the ball to Nate Grayton, and Riverside was all over it, and now it's going to be 2nd and long.
The only good thing, if you're positive about that, is if you're Beckley, it kept the clock running.
Well, they're down to the 42. They need 18 yards on 2nd down. So they don't need to get it all on this play. They can maybe get half of it. But you're right, we're 2 minutes into the fourth quarter.
And they're going into different offensive sets.
You got an uncovered receiver over there. And Jones will throw the ball, and it's complete, even though he threw a bullet. Even though that should have been a real soft touch. He threw a bullet to the receiver, and the receiver able to hang on to it and able to gain a couple of yards to the 40-yard line.
So this is 3rd down, 3rd and 15?
3rd and 16. They got to go to the 24-yard line of Riverside. But the one thing about it, when you put Beckley in passing situations, Jones has completed a few, but his last couple, even though that was completed, that was a bullet to his fullback out of the backfield.
It was a better catch than it was pass.
Yeah, there wasn't much touch on the pass. And from the 40-yard line of Riverside, we got a whistle blown.
Timeout.
And what do we have?
Beckley with a timeout.
Beckley will call a timeout, so we'll keep it here. So, Riverside gaining momentum, and if Riverside can get a stop here, we still got a lot of football left. I mean, we're not even under 9 minutes yet for the fourth quarter, and Beckley's 28-point lead has now been shrunk in half to 14.
Yeah, if you get a stop here in your Riverside, Beckley's definitely going to punt it. With their punter, you're going to try to punt it and pin them down. But they've had it. Riverside has moved the ball twice deep in their territory in this half.
The one thing, if you're Beckley, and you can look at it, and I'm sure Coach Surratt is having this conversation with his quarterback Jones, if they're going to throw the ball here, make sure you don't turn it over, number one. But you could think, if you run the ball here and you don't make it, you can come back and punt. You can still burn. I don't know. You could burn a minute and maybe a minute and a half.
I'm with you. And you just got into my mind. I think I'm going to line up and run it.
And if I don't make it, I'm going to take my time.
Riverside has already used a timeout.
Right.
Take my time, punt it,
And play defense.
And you're up 2 scores. And just don't give up anything big.
Right. Just don't turn it over. And I think, I would run the ball.
Learn to play with the lead. I'm running the ball here.
Learn to play with the lead. And when you got that big offensive line, and as good as they've dominated in the first half, and as good as they ran the ball in the first half, I would go back and kind of lean on them to see if I can pick up some yardage here. So let's see what Beckley does. They will throw the ball. Jones set, throws to the far side, and nowhere near the receiver. And that will stop the clock and bring up 4th down, and no question Beckley will have to punt.
I think I would have ran it there, but good play call. Good play call.
Well, they had a receiver out there, but Jones just not able to make the connection.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll punt here. I don't think
that's just like a timeout. And if ever that Beckley needed Mollahan to stick one inside the 10, it's right now.
And what you don't want is have Mollahan punt it in the end zone.
Yeah. And and that's what the touch is hard to control. But look him, he's going to directional kick it probably to the near side here.
There's a whistle, and what do we got?
It's going to be.
I'm not sure if they blew the play dead, and still waiting for the
flag?
officials.
The flag is in the defensive backfield.
I don't know. Unless they had too many men on the field.
Yep, too many men on the field.
Of course, that still will move them up 5.
Yeah, but this actually hurts the offense.
Well, you're still going to punt, I believe, here.
Yeah, you're still going to punt. But
yeah, like I said, here's where, you talk about the touch with the throw, touch with the kick here. Mollahan want to pin him down, and that's a nice, good kick.
That's a great kick.
And that's going to bounce, and it's going to get into the end zone.
See, the guys didn't find the ball.
Yep.
That was
and, Eric, you're right. That penalty actually helped Riverside because
that would have hit probably at the 10 and with time to.
Well, Riverside has scored each of their last 2 possessions. They had a 7-play 34-yard drive and a 3-play 84-yard drive to cut Beckley's lead in half. They have the ball now on their own 20-yard line.
Well, in the last 2 possessions, I need to mention this. 35, Matt Moore has not been on offense or defense. He has not been in the game the last 2 possessions.
So here's a first down for Riverside. Walker out of the gun. Takes the snap.
Maybe.
Throws the ball, got a receiver open. It's caught up over the 25 and ran out of bounds and slammed out of bounds. But a nice gain on first down as the connection is made. And that is Ray hauling that pass in.
Colton Ray, and they're running great combinations here. And they got out of bounds. So if you're Beckley, you need to keep stuff in front of you, but you also need to tackle, inbound.
So that's a 7-yard gain on first down out to the 27. 2nd and 3. Be a running play. That'll be a first down up over the 30. That'll stop the clock momentarily to reset the chains.
As much as Beckley controlled the first half, Riverside has controlled this whole second half.
That'll be a first down on the 31, but Riverside being down 2 scores, maybe a little bit more urgency on this drive.
Yes, now this is the time, that they need to really go fast. And if you're Beckley, you just don't want to give up chunk plays.
Here's the shotgun snap down the middle. Got a man wide open. The connection's made down the center of the field to the 30 of Beckley. This may go the distance, and it will. It's going to be a Riverside touchdown. And once again, wide open is Terrell. He's the one that caught the last long touchdown pass. And another touchdown pass right down the center of the field. And Riverside has scored on the last 3 possessions and back in the game just like that as Walker delivers the touchdown pass. That is a 69-yard touchdown. Walker hits the young man, Michael Terrell, right down the middle, covering 69 yards. And this is a very big extra point for Riverside as the Warriors are back in the game.
Yeah, this is a huge extra point here.
And the kick is up, and it looks good, and it's not.
No, it's no good.
Wide.
That's
a big miss. But your new score with 8:24 left in the fourth quarter, Beckley 28, Riverside 20. You're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football on Video Productions.
National Bank, where you can purchase or refinance your home with the no down payment champion mortgage. No down payment, no private mortgage insurance, no kidding. Visit your local branch to get started today. City National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. To learn more, log on to mortgage.bankatcity.com.
Welcome to Allstate. You already paid for car insurance. Why not take your home along for the ride? Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Call a local agent or 1-800-ALLSTATE for a quote today.
Unlock the money already in your home at City National Bank. Consolidate loans or fund your next big project with a home equity line of credit with a great low intro rate. Visit your local branch to get started. City National Bank, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Learn more at homeequity.bankatcity.com.
Riverside strikes again. 3 plays, 80 yards, a 69-yard touchdown pass from Walker, and Walker connects to Terrell. The PA is no good, and it's 28-20. And your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi-Cola, Pepsi of Southern West Virginia, an ice cold Pepsi. Here's an onside kick, and Riverside kicks the onside kick. It didn't go 10 yards, and Eric, we was talking about this in the commercial, quite frankly. Really surprised that Riverside did not kick the ball deep.
I would have kicked it deep. And the Beckley defender, the offensive player there, did a great job of going and catching it, because you have to give him a chance to catch it. You can't make contact until the ball is touched by the offense.
So Beckley will have it, and they'll have the ball across midfield at the Riverside 49. But Beckley led in this game 28-0, and Riverside has scored the last 3 times that they have had the ball, and 2 big plays and 2 big drives.
And once again, no more for Beckley.
Jones up under center on first down at the Riverside 49-yard line. It's going to be a running play. And Riverside stacks it up for a very minimal gain. And now those big 4, 5, 6-yard gains that Beckley got in the first half, Eric, are hard to come by here in the second half.
Because the Warriors are doing a good job of
got an injured player down. It'll be a 2-yard gain to the Riverside 47-yard line.
Yeah, I hate to see that.
We'll keep it right here. Maybe you can update some scores, Eric, if you got a second there while they attend to the injured player. But this started out, looked like a Beckley blowout, and then all of a sudden Riverside has come roaring back.
And we said there was a lot of football to be played, and Riverside's proved that you never give up. Point Pleasant beat Greenbrier East 30-7.
And that'll be Beckley's opponent next week up at Fairleigh.
Okay, let's try to find some double-A local games. Let's try to check on the blue field.
Of course, the last score we had was Cram leading 27-25. They were going into the fourth quarter, but that game's probably close to over, or should be over by now, unless it's went into overtime.
Yeah, the last score was
27-25 Graham was the last update that we got. It looks like a cramp out there.
Fairmont 42, Lewis County 6. That's the final. In the fourth quarter, Graham 29, Bluefield 25. Oak Hill in Nicholas County evidently is in a weather delay. It's still posted 10-7 in the fourth quarter, Oak Hill.
So we got a young man there with the cramp. And why is that? We'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back as you're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Sandwiches, better with Pepsi.
Massey Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
And welcome back to Riverside High School as we're getting the crunch time with 8:07 left here in the fourth quarter. And what was a 28-0 Beckley lead has been trimmed to 28-20. Beckley will have the ball. 2nd and 8 at the Riverside 47 as the injured Riverside player looked like he had a cramp as they have bringing him here to the sideline. So here's Beckley with it. Jones up under center. Beckley fumbles the ball. The ball is loose, and let's see who's got it. And Beckley may be very fortunate to maintain possession.
Yeah, the whole complexity of this game has changed. Beckley is really put the ball on the turf and put themselves behind the 8 ball down the distance-wise. When you're a run-heavy team, this is where, you know, it's 3rd and 9, and this is definitely, if you don't pick this up, you punt it.
So let's see what Beckley will do. They've not been that efficient throwing the ball, and for that matter, really running the ball a lot in the second half. So let's see what Jones will do. Tight formation. They're going to spread receivers out to each side, trying to get maybe Riverside out of the box a little bit on 3rd and long. Jones to throw, and now they blow the play dead, and we're going to have maybe a delay of game on Beckley, and that's the case. The play clock ran out, so now it backs them up 5 more yards.
Yeah, this is all the momentum on Riverside, on Riverside's side.
Yeah, it is. And that cowbell right below us, it was put away for the first half, but it's alive and well now.
2 of them going now. It's really fired the masses up.
So the ball will go back to Beckley's side of the field to the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long. With 7:14 left here in the 4th quarter, and Beckley up 28-20. Jones up under center to throw. Has time, goes to the far side, throws in a crowd, and it's incomplete. And there was really nobody open, and Beckley will be forced to punt. But Beckley, Eric, has gotten behind the chains the last couple times, been 3rd long, been forced to throw the ball.
And they've been shot themselves in the foot, and consistently right now, the best player for Beckley this half has been Connor Mollahan.
And one time, you know, you think about, we said this the last couple times, if you ran the ball, you at least can get maybe milk another minute, maybe off the clock.
Yeah,
here's
poor
the
clock
snap.
management.
And here comes the kick.
That's a boomer.
That's a good kick. And the ball's going to hit about the 10 and go out of bounds right there about the 9, maybe the 8.
The 8-yard line.
But the last 2 times Riverside has had the ball, they've had long drives. They've had an 84-yard drive and an 80-yard drive in 3 plays each.
Well, that was a great punt. What was that, a net of 41?
Well, the ball was at the 46, and they're going to put the ball down at the, let's see what they put down, maybe the 8 or the 9. Put it down at the 9-yard line.
That's a good job by Connor. And right now, it's a battle of wheels here.
Connor Mollahan, like I said, he's got a big leg, and he showed it there. And now, Riverside, they've got momentum. They've scored each of the last 3 times. They had a 7-play 34-yard drive, a 3-play 84-yard drive, and a 3-play 80-yard drive. And they've hit the big play on Beckley.
Yeah,
and Walker,
Beckley hasn't had an answer with middle of the field is wide open with this man coverage.
Walker throws the ball, and he'll throw it behind the intended receiver, trying to get the ball to Terrell. And Terrell's the one that's done the damage. He caught that big, long touchdown on the last possession, and that ball was thrown behind him. And that stopped the clock, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for Riverside on their own 9-yard line.
So now they're running the play in from the sideline, and need to be aware of number 9 if you're Beckley. But what you can't give up is anything in the seams.
Riverside with 10 on the play clock. Walker works out of the gun. Terrell, number 9, has been the big deep threat. Here's the snap. Here's the throw on the near side. Got a man out there, and it's right through the hands a little high. That time they're looking for Jalen Sims. Sims only 5'9", and the ball sailed a little high on him, and it'll fall incomplete. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, but this is the down that bit Beckley 2 previous series. They've
That's
had
right.
3rd and 8, 3rd and long. I mean, and right now, if you look at the replay, the defender was beat.
Yeah, that was a catchable ball.
Yeah.
But you're right. Each of the last 2 possessions, 3rd and long, and Riverside has hit Beckley for a long touchdown. So let's see what they do here. Walker works out of the gun.
Terrell's not in. He's on the sideline for Riverside. Number false start.
Yeah, Riverside, they didn't look set, and it is a false start, and that'll cost them 5 and take the ball back to the 4-yard line.
I mean, this is a huge 2 downs here.
Well, you figure if you're Riverside, if you don't make any yardage, obviously you can't go for it here on your own 4. You've got to punt.
Yeah, and if I'm Beckley and I do force this punt, I'm not putting anybody back. Just, hey, play true, let them punt it, don't even touch the ball.
And don't do nothing but run the ball.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. The big play is what you don't want to do. You don't want to have a penalty.
Don't want to pass interference.
Right.
It's automatic first down, correct?
Well, no, it's not automatic. It's 15 yards. But
Which
you don't
will be
want to have a
first down.
penalty. And you want to be able to defend the middle of the field, and that's where Riverside has hurt Beckley. So standing right there right at the goal line in the end zone, going back in the end zone to pass. Walker throwing the deep ball, looking for Ward. It is – nope, Ward cannot haul it in. He had his man beat, and Braden Ward cannot haul it in, and it'll be a 4th down play.
Boy, that play was there.
And Ward getting up slowly, and Riverside now will have to punt.
Yeah, I think they might go for it. What do you think?
I think I wouldn't. But because, if you don't get it, you're almost conceding the game because you figure Beckley would be able to score from the 4-yard line. I just don't think if you're Riverside, I mean, their coaches know their players better, but I think you have to punt this
And
one.
I'm not rushing the punter here.
And Beckley's not.
Look, why put someone back? Why?
Well, they are, and here I'm sure it's going
Why?
to be a punt, and there it is. And you're right, I wouldn't even try to return it. Get away from it. And
Away
Beckley
from
will
it.
have the ball at the 37-yard line. And if I'm Beckley, all I'm going to do is run the ball.
Nope. Yeah, you have to run the ball.
And even if I don't make it, I punt, field goal, whatever I do, but I'm not going to throw it. So we'll see what Beckley elects to do here.
And if you're Riverside, keep dialing up that heat up the middle. They've really pinched this Woodrow run offense. They had 209 rushing yards at the half. I guarantee you they're not over 250 for the game now.
So at the 37 of Riverside, Beckley will take over. The defense come up big on that possession. And Connor Mollahan was big by being able to pin him down in the hole.
That was an excellent punt. And right now, he would be my player of the game.
So here's Beckley. 1st and 10 at the Riverside 37, trying to run out the clock. 6.5 to go. And they'll run the ball.
Tolly's back in.
And there's Metas.
More.
Yep.
No, it's.
Yep, it's running the ball.
More.
You are
Matt
correct.
Moore. And this is the first possession he's been back in.
Matthew Moore, right.
Matt Moore, this is the first possession he's been back in. And look, dividends. He picks up 3-4 yards.
He'll get to the 35. It'll be 2nd down. But more importantly, Beckley can milk the clock. We're going under 6 minutes for the game and 15 minutes for the play clock. Beckley in no hurry. Trying to hang on here. They played a great first half, and they're just kind of hanging on here in the second half. And they'll run the ball again, and it'll be a heavy dose of Moore. And they can't get him to the ground, and he'll pick up a 1st down.
And that's what was missing.
That's right. That is some smash and dash right there.
Right there. He gets that lean. He gets the lean going, and this is a big, big 1st down if they can convert. If Beckley can convert this.
Yeah, he didn't quite make the 1st down. I beg your pardon. It's 3rd and 2 at the 29, but we'll probably get more from Moore here. Beckley in no hurry. 13 on the play clock. You can see the game clock approaching 5 minutes to go. Beckley up 8, 28-20. There's a running play. That'll move the pile, and that'll be a Beckley 1st down. Now they blow the whistle. You just don't want to make sure you don't have any extra stuff after the whistle.
Yes, and this is Beckley hanging on for dear life, and Riverside trying to strip the ball out. You have to give Riverside kudos in this game because everyone thought it was a snoozer at halftime, and they methodically climbed back in this game with big play after big play, and it seems like even being down, they still have the momentum. It's been a valiant effort in the second half.
So Beckley trying to put the game away here, and I think they would obviously do that if they were able to score a touchdown on this drive, and they'll run the ball. Grayton with the carry, and that'll move the pile about 3 or 4 yards. Main thing, you want to run that clock, and you want to hang on to the ball. I'm sure Riverside trying to tackle the ball.
Riverside burns a timeout there.
There's Grayton on the carry.
He picks up 3, and this is what you want. You want Riverside with 0 timeouts. But in a perfect world, you just want to go down and punch it in.
And here's the thing with the timeout. You figure if Beckley can get one more, I would say maybe 2 more first downs, maybe 1 more, that could seal the deal even if they didn't score.
Yeah, one more first down and running the clock in between,
And as you mentioned, force Riverside to burn all their timeouts. Right. But you got to give Beckley credit, and if they do hang on and win this game, even though the first half they did just about everything right, offense, defense, special teams.
Third quarter was their demise. They looked like a totally different team.
Totally different team, been very sloppy in the second half.
And then if you're Riverside, you can even if you don't win this game, you can go, hey, whatever we did in that third quarter, they might have found their offense. They finally spread it out. Quarterback had some timely throws, and it's been a good second half for Riverside.
But, Beckley needed this early test on the road, and they're trying to seal the deal here. And they will run the ball, and that'll be more. And he's not going to gain much, and that'll bring up third down.
I think Riverside calls another timeout here.
So really the game kind of hinges here, as you're right, because if Beckley doesn't convert, if Beckley gets a first down, then they can run the clock out pretty much.
So this is what, third down? Third down,
they're going to put the ball down at the, let's see.
To 20.
So they need 3rd and 5.
24?
Well, actually, they got to get inside the 20. They got to get to the 16-yard line.
Third and 8.
Yeah, they have the ball at the 25-yard line.
Putting 2 more seconds back on the clock. Make it 4:24.
So Beckley has the ball at the Riverside 25. They got to get to the –
well, I guess they didn't put 2 more seconds back on.
They got to get to the 16. So they need 9 yards on third down, and there's no way you're going to throw the ball here. You're going to run the ball.
You're not throwing it, but you just don't want to put it on the turf. And you want to live to have a 2-down,
And I wouldn't kick a field goal. I'm going to run the ball. These next 2 downs.
Plays.
Yep. And if you get a first down, Beckley can pretty much lock it up. So big play in the game right here on 3rd and 9. And now what do we got?
Watch,
now
4:24.
They're saying you have to put 2 more seconds on the clock. So they need to put it to 4:24. And that's what the official instructed them to do.
Yeah, I saw it.
And you were on top of it. But they got 42.4.
They got 42.4. Beckley fans would love to see that.
Maybe they could hold it for 2 seconds, but I guess we're going to get it to 4:24.
Move the decimal point to the left.
Well, the way some of these clocks work, you might have to run it down. Yeah. So right now that's been a little delay. We've had a little bit of everything here tonight, and this has turned out to be a long game. We came on at 7:10. It is now 10:35.
Yeah, they're trying.
Final score, by the way, Graham has beaten Bluefield 29-25. So congratulations to Graham as they defeat Bluefield. And quite frankly, Eric, I'm a little surprised at that. Not nothing against Graham, but Graham has knocked off Bluefield 29-25 at Mitchell Stadium.
Yeah, that's a shocker. It's not. You can't call it an upset. They're evenly matched teams, but it's the play of the game here.
Here's a running play for Beckley, and it's going to get a couple yards to Creighton. Riverside calls their final timeout. So here's the ball game right here. This is a 4th down play. If Beckley gets a first down, Riverside has no more timeouts left. Beckley can run the clock out. And if Riverside can hold and get the ball, they have an opportunity for a touchdown and 2-point conversion to tie the game. So it all comes down to this, and I think if you're Beckley, you're going to run the ball.
Run it. You need your 8-yard running play.
Because if you don't make it, the clock's going to stop on the change of possession. So if you throw it and you don't incomplete, it's going to stop anyway. But I still think you run the ball. I think it gives you – the reason I say that, it gives you, in my opinion, your best chance to make the first down.
Because, and remember what we talked about in the first half? The way they've run the inside handoff, and I think Riverside's pinching down, I would run a quarterback keeper. Fake that inside handoff, and he's good enough athlete. If he can stay in bounds, I'd run it to the to the short side of the field or away from 7, wherever 7's at.
Well, Beckley needs to get 7 yards, and if they do that, they'll seal the deal. It's 4th and 7.
Are they bringing out the field goal unit?
They are, and it's going to be, if they put the ball down at the 30, it'll be a 40-yard field goal attempt, and this would seal it if he makes it. So here is Mollahan, a 40-yard attempt. The snap is down, the kick is up, and it's going to be good.
Oh, my goodness, what a kick.
It is good from 40 yards out.
And he hit that with about 5 yards to spare.
What a weapon, and that will extend the lead to double digits with 4:14 left in the game. Riverside doesn't have any timeouts as we watch the replay here. Plenty of leg.
Plenty of leg.
And, you know, you got to have all 3 phases, a good snap, a good hold, and no question about the kick. And
straight down the middle.
I'm with you, Eric. If Beckley would hang on to win this game, Connor Mollahan has been the player of the game. He's made all of his extra points and a huge big field goal and great punting as well.
Every punt has been great.
Kickoffs as well. Everything has been really sensational from Connor Mollahan. So the lead goes to 31-20. Scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi Cola. Have an ice cold Pepsi as Beckley took over at the Riverside 37, and they eventually end up with a 40-yard field goal from Connor Mollahan to extend the lead to double digits.
And hats off to Coach Surratt. He marched him right out there. He knew what he had.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. Let's go maybe try to win this game here.
And, you know, and like I said, it's not just the kicker. You got to give the center his props for a good snap, the hold, the entire execution of the play. And Mollahan, boy, that's like a layup, 40 yards, and he made that look easy.
And the holder is a freshman, Tyler Radford.
Yeah, did a
Played
good
at
job.
Park last year.
Getting it down.
Getting it down.
And
hey.
Mollahan
all
drills
3 phases of that was great.
Yes,
the snap,
it was.
the hold, and the kick.
And that's another thing, too, that's been Beckley special teams has played really good here tonight.
Special teams. And we
Field
said that
goal,
might be a factor.
Kickoff return, punts, everything. Beckley's been outstanding.
Well, everything that
in that area.
done. He was recovered his own onside kick. He's pinned him in deep twice with punts.
Made all these extra points.
Had
field
a
goal.
touchback.
Yep.
And now a field goal.
And I think, Rebecca, obviously you want to kick it deep, maybe squib it. But
I was going to say,
cover.
don't you want to squib?
Yeah, squib it here. You want to cover.
Oh, this might be tough.
Well, that's a touchback.
It's a touchback.
And Mollahan has been outstanding. So to bring the ball back out to the 20-yard line, and, you know, when you look at the body language of the fans of Riverside and their team, it looks like that field goal really kind of maybe took the sails out. But, you know, there's still 4:14 to go in the game.
There's still some ring in this bell, right, for Riverside.
But if you're Beckley, keep everything in front of you. Don't give up the big play.
Like they played the last defensive possession was their best defensive possession of the second half.
Yes.
Because they went back to what they were doing, put a little pressure on the quarterback, keep everything in front of you. Just don't give up anything big.
Yeah, protect the middle of the field.
And Riverside's done a great job personnel-wise. See, like right now, they have all receivers in. Braden Chapman's out of the game. So you're probably going to run.
Braden Ward, you mean?
I mean, Braden Chapman. I'm talking basketball. Braden Warden. And now you're gonna run some verticals.
Here's Walker under
that's
pressure.
What you need.
And he's going to be not sacked. He was able to get it away, but I'm not sure if he got it to the line of scrimmage, but there was a receiver in the area.
Yes.
So it won't be intentional grounding, but Beckley dialing up the heat on that play.
And right back in the game, this is his first defensive possession since the middle of the third quarter is Matt Moore. I don't know, he may have had a minor injury, but he's come back in and really gave them a lift because he was in all over the quarterback.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Riverside on their own 20-yard line. Now they're discussing, is it going to be, I don't think it'll be intentional grounding because there was a receiver in the area.
Well, I think that's one of the new rules. He was outside of the pocket, but it still has to go past the line of scrimmage.
Well,
but as you said, there was a receiver over
there. Even though I don't think the ball made it past the line of scrimmage,
but
there was a receiver there. So anyway, 2nd and 10. Walker waits on the shotgun snap.
Yes.
Long count. Walker takes the snap. Pressure comes. He's got some running room, and he'll tuck it under and run. And he will get out of bounds, I believe. No, he does not get out of bounds. Good job by Beckley not to allow him out of bounds. And his helmet came off, and he's got to come out, right.
Yes.
So,
and they have 0 timeouts.
And a big third down, and he did not get out of bounds.
So now you'll have a new quarterback in, and as the clock is running.
Yeah, he had an open receiver. He should have thrown that ball instead of run it.
But you know
what?
The defensive backs for Beckley finally just stayed with their men, and once he he crossed the line of scrimmage. So you have a new quarterback here. You got to bring some heat.
So on 3rd and 5 for Riverside. Here's a throw. It is caught.
He turned back in.
But he doesn't get the first down. He turned back in. He doesn't get out of bounds. He doesn't get the first down. I don't believe, unless he's right at the 30.
Yeah, I think it may be a first down.
Beckley's going to call a timeout. And he is right at the 30, and it is a first down. I thought maybe he was just pointing a first down instead of a Beckley timeout.
Okay. So that was a good job of turning back up the field to get the first down.
Riverside doesn't have any timeouts left. They'll get Walker back in the game at the 30-yard line on 1st and 10. He takes the snap, throws down the middle of the field, got a man out there, and it's dropped. That was going to be a big play for Riverside. The receiver is come up injured.
Both of these teams,
That was Bryce Green, and he was open. And we've seen Riverside have guys open up the seam and down the middle of the field tonight.
The seam of the look, an instant replay. Yeah, if he catches that, it's a big gainer. I don't think he scores, but.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he would score, but it would have been a big gainer. It would have stopped the clock, and they would have had the ball inside the 35 of Beckley.
So now you stop the clock, and there's 3:12 on the clock.
But you got to score twice. You got to score a touchdown
and recover an onside.
And you got and whether you
touchdown
make
and 2-point conversion.
Whether you make the two or whether you don't, you still got to score twice.
Yes.
And actually, by making the conversion, 3 times, but I guess you only really need 2 because if you don't make the extra point, you can get an onside kick and still win the game. But all that's premature now is we're ready to go 2nd and 10. And that really wasn't a timeout, so I don't know why Beckley was able to go over to the far side. Riverside shouldn't come over here. Riverside
was over here, so I guess they let them go. I don't understand that.
Yeah, neither team should have been allowed to do that.
That's like an extra timeout.
Yeah. So 2nd and 10 for Riverside on their own 30. Walker gets the snap, steps up into the pocket. He's going to run, and he's going to pick up about 5 or 6 yards before he runs out of bounds. And he's going to gain up to the 36, give him 6 yards, be 3rd down coming up. So they'll need 4.
Yeah, smart play by the quarterback Walker that time. He's at least trying to get it manageable where they can pick up another first down.
But Beckley just got to protect the seam and up the middle. Riverside here in the second half has really been able to hit Beckley for big plays up the middle of the field.
And Beckley's finally got a safety in the middle of the field.
Walker with protection, throws the ball down here on the near sideline. Got a man open, and it's caught. Another big play. That is Sims as he stretches out to haul it in. Jalen Sims, the 5'9", 150-pound junior, on a beautiful fly pattern on the near side. Another big play for Riverside.
Now Beckley has a player down.
That'll be a first down. And as you mentioned, Beckley does have a player down. Let's see where they'll put that ball down at the Beckley 23-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like Tyree Folks is down.
That's a 41-yard completion. And, that's a big play because there's still just a second under 3 minutes, Eric. And if Riverside was to score right here and go for
kick,
2,
yeah,
and if they get it, so, yeah, this is going to be nervous time. This game is not over yet. Beckley got off to a good start, ran the opening kickoff back, and then added 3 more touchdown drives on top of that to go up 28-0 at halftime. But in the second half, it's been really a tale of 2 games. Riverside has found their groove. They scored on 3 of their last 4 possessions.
They've outscored Beckley 20-3 in the second half.
And one as big as that missed extra point. But if Riverside was to get a touchdown here, they would have to go. They would make it 31-26. They would try to go for 2. Then all they would need to be a field goal to tie. So, and we said at halftime this game was far from over.
Far from over.
And there's so many big plays, but you go back and you look at Riverside fumbling as they were going into the goal line. What a big turnover that was that Beckley got.
That was a huge turnover. I was thinking about that because they were going in to score.
But here's the thing: if Beckley does hang on and win this game, the special teams is what's come through for them because they've been good. They've been good in the kicking game with Mollahan. In fact, he may be the best kicker in West Virginia. If he's not the best, he's definitely one of the best. I haven't seen anybody better.
He's definitely up there.
He's very good, and he very good on kickoffs, punts. extra points, drilled that 40-yard field goal. You know, Beckley has gotten a kickoff return for a touchdown, and the special teams has really been big for Beckley tonight. But now can they hang on as Riverside has the first down at the Beckley 23.
So the clock will run.
The clock will run on the snap because it was completion.
No, it was spotted.
Yeah, okay. So here's Walker on the move. He looks. He throws. Got a man out there in the corner of the end zone. It's going to be a penalty on Beckley, and he caught it for a touchdown. So it's going to be a pass interference on Beckley. They'll take the result of the play, 23-yard touchdown, and with 2:48 left in the game, Riverside has climbed within 5 at 31-26.
You got to go for 2.
Got to go for 2 here as we watch the instant replay. Let's see who was able to haul that in.
That's Ward.
Yep. Ward able to haul that in.
Got interfered with and able to come down with it.
So that is a 80-yard drive. So Riverside has scored on 4 of their last 5 drives. This an 80-yard drive in 7 plays. And it's a 23-yard touchdown pass from Walker to Ward to make it 31-26 with 2:48 left in the game, and Riverside will line up to go for 2 and try to get it to within a field goal. So there's the call. Pass interference on Beckley. They'll take the result of the play. Is Braden Ward able to haul that in on the far side there in the corner of the end zone for a Riverside touchdown.
Yeah, and right here I would have him in the slot. This is just another jump ball to him.
Yeah.
I would go right back to it.
Yeah, just let Ward go up and get the ball at his highest point. So here comes Walker as Riverside sets up to go for 2. This has been one wild, crazy game. We're going to play all night. We're approaching 11 o'clock local time. All we need is overtime, right?
Yeah, I definitely don't need that.
Well, we could get it.
Yeah, we could get it.
A lot of things can happen. Now there's the official. I'm not sure. Now he's ready to go, and Riverside ready to go. This is a very big play, 2-point conversion coming up here. Walker will work under center this time. Takes the snap. They're going to run the ball up the middle, and they'll get it. So the 2-point conversion is good. Your new score, Beckley leading 31-28 with 2:48 left in the game. Your scoring recap brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia as Riverside goes 80 yards in 7 plays. They get the 23-yard touchdown pass from Walker to Ward. They make the 2-point conversion, and now we got a ball game, 31-28, and it all hinges now, Eric, on this onside kick. If Beckley gets it, they can run the clock out.
This is the play of the game, and it's nervous time for Beckley because.
And Eric, if Riverside gets the kick, recovers it, not only are they thinking about time, they think about going down and winning the game.
Yes.
So this is huge, and as good as Beckley's special teams has been all night, you need them to be good one more play.
Yeah, this is the play where your hands team has to be the hands team.
So we've got a thriller here. Glad you're with us here on Video Productions. I'm Maris Lowry with Eric Thomas. The heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing, and Chris Farish, as always, our stat guy. So to play the game right here, the onside kick coming. And Eric, wow, just what a tale of 2 halves.
Yes.
Riverside has outscored Beckley 28-3 in this second half. And they're going to look like a directional kick to the far side. And if you're Riverside, you want to get that big hop. Beckley, you want to attack it. You don't want to wait for the ball to come to you, but the ball's got to go 10 yards before it can be a legal play. And here we go. Excitement here in Quincy. Here's the kick, and he just kicked it out of bounds. Not a very good kick, and Beckley will take over.
Well, that wasn't
very good.
Was not very good. Execution on that was.
You're trying to get that hop, and you're not able to get it. And, you know, Beckley, though, they can't take
They have to run.
They have to actually run the ball.
They have to run the ball.
So Beckley will get it. Let's see where they're going to put it down at. See what the rule is here.
It looks like right at the 45.
Well, that's where the ball went out at.
So did they get it where they kicked it from?
Well, I think maybe where it went out. Let's see. The ball's going to be put down. I'm not sure yet. The referee's standing there at the 45, as you mentioned. But I don't see the football out there. And I think it will be on their own 45-yard line. So that's where Beckley will get it. I believe here on their own 45. Or no, they're going to walk it up, and maybe Beckley's going to get it at midfield.
Because it's a penalty tacked on to the end of the –
I guess they take the 5 yards, the ball went out to 45, and move it up to the 50. Like I said, they got so many different rules on from high school to college to pro, it's hard to see. Yeah. So Beckley has it at midfield. They've got to run the ball. They actually just can't take a knee. And they'll give the ball, and there's a nice powering run, and that'll get 7 or 8 yards. And that's some more, and a huge gain, and Beckley trying to salt this one away. Beckley trying to hang on as they'll put the ball down inside the 45 at the 43-yard line of Riverside. Riverside can't stop the clock, 2:25 and counting. Another first down, and then Beckley, all they have to do then is take a knee. And Beckley in no hurry, trying to milk the play clock.
15 on the clock.
Yep, on the play clock. But what an exciting opening night game here in Quincy. Beckley trying to hang on and get the win. And they will salt the victory away because that'll be a first down. And now all they got to do is take a couple of knees and get a first down at the 40.
That could do it.
That should do it.
Katie barred the door.
Well, I never met Katie. But if I need to bar my door, I'm going to find Katie. I know a few Katies in my time. But now all Beckley has to do is take a knee. And, you know, at the end of the day, Eric, and I know that Beckley was outstanding in the first half and they were really sloppy in the second half, but it's still going to be a W, and it's going to be a very festive, joyful bus ride back to Beckley from getting this win. And that's the best formation right here, the victory formation, as Jones just needs to take a knee. But we'll wrap everything up for you. They're actually going to run the ball, and they get great in there to run it. And that gets the ball down to the 34-yard line.
Maybe they don't know that they can take a knee.
Well, I'm sure they do. As we're approaching a minute. They just need to take a knee, and the game is over. So Beckley got off to a 28-0 lead. They were outscored 28-3 in the second half, but there's a lot of big plays. The big kick by Mollahan, and, of course, the big defensive play where they got the fumble, Riverside going in for a touchdown, and the ball would pop loose.
Yeah, so 2 plays of the game, special teams, and
that big defensive play.
Stand.
And back there, they push the pile. Like I said, all they need to do is just take a knee, and the game will be over.
And that should do it.
Under
that 32.
Will do it. Beckley does not have to run another play, and Beckley will get a win in the opening game. It wasn't easy, and it's not supposed to be easy, but Beckley got off to a 28-0 lead, and they held on to defeat Riverside here tonight. Your final score is Beckley 31, Riverside 28. Beckley 1-0, Riverside 0-1. And we will take our fourth quarter break and come back on the other side of our fourth quarter break with the Pioneer Bank postgame show as you're watching live streaming coverage of high school football, Raleigh County style, here on Video Productions.
Plumbing and Heating of Beckley, West Virginia is now hiring journeyman or master plumbers. You must have a West Virginia plumbing license and a valid driver's license. All interested parties may apply at Modley's Plumbing and Heating at 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia. Or interested applicants can call 304-253-HELP. Once again, you may apply in person at Modley's Plumbing and Heating, 101 First Street, Beckley, West Virginia. Modley's Plumbing and Heating is an equal opportunity employer.
What's more important to you when buying windows, siding, and doors?
Is it energy savings, cost, quality, warranty, or perhaps collar options, low maintenance, service, or financing options?
Or all of the above. Window World offers it all.
We listen to your needs and go above and beyond your expectations. Schedule your free, no obligation in-home estimate by calling Window World of Beckley today.
And we welcome you to the Pioneer Bank postgame show with Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry, the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing, and Chris Farish on stats. And Eric, we started our season last night, and We had a blowout. Independence beat Liberty last night 60-0, and we thought we were going to have another blowout here tonight as Beckley got up 28-0, but Riverside made a game, and it came all the way down to the end, and Beckley able to hang on to get the win 31-28. But, Beckley really set the tone by getting the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and then the next 3 drives put the ball in the end zone to take a 28-0 halftime lead. And then Riverside came charging back, and Riverside, with a touchdown and 2-point conversion late in the game, cut it to 31-28, and they went for the onside kick. They kicked it out of bounds, and then Beckley able to run out the clock. But at the end of the day, that's all that matters is the final score. And as good as Beckley was in the first half, they really didn't look they looked as bad, as good as in the second half, as good as they were in the first half.
And, Riverside had a lot to do with that. They came out with a lot of fight, and the third quarter looked like the two teams had changed dressing rooms and jerseys, because as good as Beckley was, they came out, I don't know if it was flat, but a lot of things, they fumbled the ball, had a few key penalties, and Riverside was able to battle back. But in the end, the only thing that matters is getting the victory, and you move on. You move to 1-0, heading into Greenbrier East next week.
Yeah, and for Beckley, and as for Riverside as well, we had a 30-minute weather delay, to start the game. And then Beckley had their own electricity as they started it, and they really set the tone with that 87-yard kickoff return. So anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Eric will give you team and individual totals, as we'll do that on the flip side of this break here on the Pioneer Bank postgame show, as you're watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business, which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank. Pioneer Community Bank, with locations in Beckley, Yeager, Sophia, Moore, and Welch. Member FDIC.
Yo, Adrian, need to get over to Hometown Kia in Beckley. You got a prize-winning lineup of new Kias over there, and these new Kias are real contenders. Mickey even likes the new Telluride to ride back and forth to the gym. Those guys at Hometown Kia in Beckley, they are in the corner fighting for you through the whole deal. So if you're out there in the market for a new ride, don't go 10 rounds with one of those other dealers. Get over to Hometown Kia of Beckley for a real knockout deal. Get a new Kia from Hometown Kia. That's how winning is done.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
The earth beneath my feet is turning like a wheel and beating like a drum.
Your first set of wheels didn't come with complications or strings or hassles. It can be that way again. Tire Pros. Hassle-free, guaranteed.
And welcome back to Riverside High School. Your final score, Beckley has defeated Riverside 31-28. Beckley 1-0 and Riverside 0-1. And we're going to go inside the numbers. And inside the numbers are brought to you by Cracker Barrel, with locations in Beckley and Princeton. And they have delicious food all day long, including the great breakfast that I like, where they have that delicious pig. Whether you like sausage or that crisp bacon, you can get delicious pig, some swine there at Cracker Barrel, along with those delicious eggs. And if you like the hash browns, a good coffee, and also an ice cold Pepsi. All right, for the numbers, and boy, there are a lot of good numbers on each side of the ledger, and Eric's got those.
Well, if you're Beckley, you're fortunate really to get out of here with a victory. They had 211 total yards at halftime, and they finished the game with 273 total yards, Mariners, 272 on the ground. They had 1 yard passing offense, and they were led by Matt Moore on the night. He had 16 carries for 96 yards and to lead the way, and Tylee Kimball had 8 carries for 79. And special teams actually won the game with a field goal and a kick return, to add 10 points to lead them to victory. And Riverside really came up big in the second half. Their quarterback, Walker, threw for 342 yards and 2 scores. He was 15 of 27 on the night. And they also had a big ground game from Harrison came in off the bench to tote the ball 6 times for 63 yards. So they finished with 459 total yards.
But the main number is the one that Beckley had 31 and Riverside 28. And also, I think something really to point out, Beckley had 8 different guys that ran the ball tonight. And we talked about that way back, and it seems like forever ago. That was near a little after 7. We talked about that in the pregame.
Yes.
That Beckley has running back by committee. And with that big offensive line, the way they were wearing down Riverside, and I think as the season progresses, I think that could be a big weapon for Beckley to run as many guys as they did tonight.
They had 3 guys hit double-digit carries. One with 16, one with 10, one with 11. And if you can do that and ground and pound, but they held them. And you're right, the only stat that matters is the W. But my hat's off to Riverside. They did not give up. And Beckley, on the flip side, did not let Riverside, come back and get the win.
So we'll take our final break, come back and wrap it up as you've been watching live streaming coverage of Raleigh County High School football here on Video Productions.
Every year, the big banks raise their fees while reducing the services they provide. How do they get away with that? If you were to join Pioneer Community Bank, your money would stay right here, supporting a local business, which results in lower fees and better customer service for you. Sounds like a plan. So you're not really stuck with the big banks and their policies. Keep your money where it belongs, right here with Pioneer Community Bank. Pioneer Community Bank with locations in Beckley, Yeager, Sophia, Moore, and Welch. Member FDIC.
Massey Power Sports is your one-stop off-road and tractor destination. We have an awesome selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, tractors, and kid machines. Our machines come loaded with features the other brands don't have and will save you thousands of dollars versus the competition. Massey Power Sports offers the best prices, the best service, and the best warranties. Our locations in Beckley and Cross Lanes are here to serve you. Online at MasseyPowersports.com. Massey Power Sports. We power your work and your adventure.
Beckley Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia High School athletics and our area student athletes. Beckley Auto Mall, with 3 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, 199 Rogers Street, Princeton, and 368 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Beckley Auto Mall at West Virginia student athletes, a winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
As a former college football player, I realized that sports-related injuries can happen real fast. Hello, I'm Dr. Gross. If your child or grandchild is dealing with sports-related injuries, or maybe you're dealing with something that just won't go away, call me today and I can help you get back on the playing field. To better serve you, see us at one of our 3 locations in Beckley, Whipple, and Sophia at the numbers listed below. So take care of yourself. You deserve it.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
And welcome back to Riverside High School. We want to thank everybody that helped made our streaming video, our broadcast possible, to all the fine folks at Riverside, and to Beckley head coach Street Sarab providing us with all the information. Once again, the final score, Beckley defeats Riverside 31-28. Beckley is now 1-0, Riverside 0-1. And Beckley, they'll go on the road next week to take on Greenbrier East. As far as video production is concerned, next Friday night, it'll come from Coal City, West Virginia, and it'll be the Oak Hill Red Devils. And the last report we got, they were in a weather delay against Nicholas County. They will be at Coal City taking on Independence. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff and be on at 6:45. Bill O'Brien, Mario Lowry will have that. Eric and I will be in Columbus for Notre Dame and Ohio State next week. And then in 2 weeks, I'll be in South Bend for Notre Dame and Marshall. And then when we come back on the 16th, Eric, you and I will be there the rest of the way. And when we come back on the 16th, that'll be Shady and Independence. And the game that the other game that you and I won't be at on the 9th will be Liberty at Pikeview. But once again, we want to thank all of our crew here. Once again, the heavy hitter, as always, Mr. Nick Eskins, produced and directed tonight's game, and the stat man, Mr. Chris Farish, and for my partner, Eric Thomas. I'm Maris Lowry. Repeating the final score, Beckley has defeated Riverside 31-28. We appreciate you watching the game, streaming live on video production. Good night, everybody.